Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Ken's Counseling Couch. I am your host, Crayon Jennings. For those of you who take offense to the wonderful and beautiful music of my people, you're racist. So there you go. I identify as a 56K modem. So there you go. Come at me, bro. Good morning, everybody. Well, afternoon for some, because I'm on the East Coast. East Coast Philly, West. I'm not rapping today. So if you haven't caught an idea of today's show, hello chat. I love chat. I love most of chat. There are days I don't like chat. And it's not all of chat. It's very tiny portions of chat. Oh God, why is this not in my fucking thing? Oh, that's amazing. I need to put this on my, hold on. This needs to go into one of my background options because it's just too funny. Because I'm trying to make the transition from StreamYard to doing it without it, but I love some of the features of StreamYard, although I'll probably end up doing it both ways. The downside is I can't do 1080p without paying for the extra shit through StreamYard, and I'm in a bit of a tight budget. So Magnus didn't do anything. Magnus is a good boy. He didn't do nothing. Magnus didn't do nothing. I'll give him that one. But this is the image I was talking about that I forgot I had. But this makes a great background image. Here, let me show it to you real quick. So I'm going to pull myself off screen for a moment so you can see it. There you go. It blew itself up kind of big. I don't know why it was so big, but it's a great album. Many of you have probably heard it on the internet many times. If you're in different communities, we experience it in our daily lives because it's the internet. So there you go. And yes, that's a joke for the people who are new. I've worked with people with autism. I have great respect with people with autism. Calm your tits. Thank you. I have other ways to say that same statement, but some of them are technically not appropriate for stream. But when have we cared about appropriateness? Last time I checked, highlighting documents in quotes was perverted. So unless the things have changed since then, that's all I got. So, but today's content, we will be short stream today. I might, I cannot guarantee it. I might do a stream later this evening. I had to take my wife to work because of some things that were going on this morning. So I didn't get the chance to start streaming early, and I have to go pick her up, which cuts out like 2 hours of my normal window. So I have to be out the door by 3 o'clock my time. So no matter what we're doing, I've got to cut it off, pull it out, and get going. No matter what time it is, at like 2:50, because I got to be out the door by 3. And I ain't giving you no 3:50 damn Loch Ness monster. No. I ain't falling for that shit again. I ain't fucking ever get my cookies. Last time I gave you 3:50. Anyway. So there's crayons in the chat. Say hi, chat, to the crayons. See the crayons on screen? These are for you. Share right now because I had to go buy a new box after last week because of you guys. So there are currently 200 pack of crayons. So it's currently a 200 pack of crayons available. You will share. If I find out we're not sharing, we're going to have problems. Sister Hip said, Psych Guy and you could do a collab. I highly doubt Psych Guy would want to do a collab with me. If you have a way to get in touch with Psych Guy, I honestly have no problem with the gentleman in particular. I disagree with some of his takes on this case, but as a general person, I mean, he comes off like I would expect some therapists to come off, or psychiatrists or whatever. I mean, he seems to have a decent understanding of his field, but it would be an interesting discussion to have with him in general. If he's open to it, or if you have a way to get in touch with him, let me know, or you can send it to my email. So let's get this party started. All right. Make sure no one has, make sure you guys clean your pockets out. No illegal substances, none of that shit. So we're going to swap over to, shit, how did I do this? Start virtual cam, show camera, show that camera, because if I show the other camera, Ken doxes himself. So let's try not to do that today. How's that for a plan? Let's not dox Ken anymore, because Ken's a little tired of the doxing. So give me 1 second to make sure I don't accidentally dox myself. Okay. My new laptop actually has this really cool feature where you can, it's built in. It's one of those little slide covers that you can slide over your camera so it doesn't show up, which is pretty sweet when you think about it. So, okay. Oh, that's interesting. So, let's go ahead and shit. How did I do this? All right. So let me put this one away. Okay. So I'll bring this up and then we'll go from here, and this should work. Oh, why is it? It's not letting me show the camera. Stop. Hold on. That's weird. It won't let me show my camera. My OBS camera. That's so weird. Actually, what I might need to do is come in and out of the studio again. So I might probably have to refresh the page. So if I refresh and you don't see anything, that's my fault. So give me 1 second. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Am I coming through okay? I should be coming through okay. I don't think I have any issues in that regard. Okay. As you can see, we have a guest today on Ken's couch. Today's Ken's couch guest is Psych Guy because we will be watching his videos. So let's do that. So let's go ahead and get that first video pulled up, and we will get some Psych Guy content. Whether you enjoy it or not is up to you. You don't have to. But this is Psych Guy. He's our topic of the day. He will be who we are focusing on. Not necessarily in a bad way, but he's the gentleman who has done his own analysis of the Sophie loan case. He has done a 4-part video series. He has also done several long live streams discussing it. Overall, he's got quite a bit of content on the case. So hopefully he'll provide some decent insight to you guys into, what's the right way to phrase it? Maybe he'll give you guys some insight into the case that's a little different than mine. You do not have to agree with me to be here. I don't want you shitting on people in my chat is one of my big rules. And all I ask is people to learn how to engage respectfully. I don't think it's too big of an ask for people. Other than that, I don't really care what you do in chat. because y'all are all adults. At least I think you are. If you're not an adult, you probably should not be here. Not because it's like dangerous, but this is a little bit probably more mature-ish levels content. So, where is my stupid? Anyway, all right. So let's get this show on the road. All right. So this is the correct tab, and then I have this opened up over here, and this is the first one. Part 2. Okay, here we go. So last week we watched part 1 of it. This week we will watch part 2. So let's see how that works out. Now I just got to make sure I've got audio routing set up properly, because that's going to be the key here. Because sometimes if you haven't done the streaming stuff much, the audio can get routed in weird ways, and it can fuck up everything. Let's see. So Brave's going there. And so let's send Google to for in. And then do I have that here? So let's try that. And then if I do this, I know I sound like I'm talking to myself, but I do that all the time anyway. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's about whether or not. Wait a minute. Why is it? No, is it something else that's taking this place? Oh, that's what that one is. So then which one's this? This should be, I know, boomer stream. This is definitely a boomer stream today. So let's not make fun of the boomer. It is illegal to make fun of boomers. Okay, God, here we go. I think I got it figured out. So, actually, I'm going to have to do this. Shit, I have to do this old school way, because I can't yet share the audio from my OBS thing to do it to where I can do it that way. Unless I do it. No, I can do it that way if I do it a certain way. So let me try this. I have to make sure. Can I do it that way? I fucking hate some of this shit. It's so complex sometimes. Okay, let's just do it the simple way, because I don't have time to dick around today. So, say Idiocy on Parade. That's my band name. So I don't like confusing the trademarks. You know how it works. It can be a bit of a pain in the ass. So let's do this instead. And we'll share the tab, because I can share the tab audio pretty easily. I keep forgetting to set up my stupid voice meter and get all that shit configured, because it's such a pain in the ass. Sometimes it's a great program, but if it crashes, man, can it fuck everything up. All right, so here we go. Let's share screen and let's get the show on the road. Oh, okay. I was just making sure. All right, so share screen. I hate doing it this way. Let's see. And remember, so these videos started, and some people last week were bitching at me because I was watching these videos, and they're like, they're from August. I'm like, point? Because that doesn't mean they're not relevant. That doesn't mean they're not worth watching. Right? That's my opinion, right? I believe you should have no problem watching an old video like that, because there's helpful shit you can gain from it. My thoughts, not necessarily anyone else's. But, God damn it. I need to hide this real quick. Does that show up on the thing? Will it? Or can I scroll up? Ah, damn it. It's my stupid YouTube analytics thing I have. Also, I will be enabling closed captioning for this, so sorry, peeps. If you don't like reading text, some of us read better than we listen. So haters gonna hate, and copyright strike. I do need to change the opacity to 75 though. There we go. Now we're ready to roll. Now let's educate ourselves with some Psych Guys. Psych Guys. Get it? It's a pun. All right, so let's bring him up. Put him up here. Oh God, I need to change the background. Damn it. I forgot I left that up. That's better. And then I will change myself to just a face cam for this. So that way you can see me talking over here. I will try to be quiet for good chunks of it. And I will also be playing Psych Guy in 1.25 speed. If you need me to slow it down, let me know. But this first video is 28 minutes. The second one is... Jesus, how fucking long was the second one? Second one was something like... It was something along the lines of... I think the third one was also 28 minutes as well. Yeah, third one's 28 minutes. So about a half an hour each. I probably expect the discussion on each to run about 45 to an hour. So again, I will try to leave it untouched as much as possible. So we'll see what happens from there. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, say them out loud, and we'll take them as they come in. If it's important, I will interrupt. Otherwise, I will let Psych Guy do the speaking. It is his video. He's the one who, this is his analysis of it with his background and his opinion. That's, if I agree with it or disagree with it, that's for me. But you guys get to make your own decisions here. I'm not here to dictate, the outcome of this video. That's the whole reason I've been doing shit this way. So, why is it that I did that wrong? Shit. I need to pop this one out. There we go. I had the wrong live chat popped out. And if it's bothering anybody else that the little dial's spinning, I'm sorry. Because it is bothering me for some weird ass reason. Also, I do have I'm slowly starting to put together an archive channel for different streams. And if anyone's interested, I think I might put another poll up on it. On whether or not people think I should clip out different segments of my shows and release them as videos, either on this channel or on a separate channel. Because I know we go into long fucking topics sometimes, like really long shit. And so not everyone's going to want to watch 5 hours. I know the average watch time of my channel right now. And I know it's not 5 hours because 1, YouTube doesn't track it that long. 2, Calming Chaos, you're a mental health counselor or someone else who's practicing therapy? If so, or if you do know someone who is and wants to talk, you can reach out to me by email. I'll put it in the chat. And you can either do that, or if you use Discord, you can also message me there. So there's my email, and then there's my Discord, and then okay. Antropolis, I have had a couple people start doing timestamps. Nerd Tremble has been a god with timestamps. I've been trying to add those to my descriptions. I've been doing a lot of shit from my phone recently because getting onto my laptop to do shit has been like a chore. I know that sounds weird with everything in my situation. So Calming Chaos, yes, I would love to talk to you. How did you find out about me? Did someone tangentially mention me? Or if I may ask real quick before we get started, just out of curiosity. You can also, there's a message feature on my locals. If you want to check that out too. You can go there and there should be a message feature once you sign up. So yeah, thank you, calming the chaos. I don't care anyone else's position on it. One, I want at least a couple other professionals to tell me whether or not I violated ethics. Is my big one. Two, because there's a $300 bounty out there for anyone to prove I violated ethics, because the stakes have been raised. Because it started at $50, now it's at $300. I'm pretty sure I could get to $500 if I asked, but I don't think anyone will, because I don't think anyone can. And so being able to prove a negative is kind of difficult. Prove that I didn't do anything unethical, because you can't prove a negative. You have to prove that I did something, but apparently my boss didn't think so, which, again, trying to be nice, because even though we disagreed, I felt like she was misinformed, to say it nicely, by people like Lisa. Hey, Glare, what's up? Yeah, I'm big into ethics too. So, like, I will mention clients, for example, coming to chaos, on stream, in like in the vague context. Like, I've worked with a patient somewhere between like 10 and 12, dealt with this issue, dealt with it, like nothing ever specific. Like, I've never done that. And I always anonymize shit that might be more specific, but because you can use those examples, you just cannot have a tie back to them. That's within the ethical boundaries. I did an entire stream where I read through the NASW Code of Ethics, because I knew if I didn't read the whole book front to back, people would say I cut shit out in the midst of. So I read the whole fucking thing. I can make the argument that doing what I'm doing is actually more ethical, because I'm advocating for people needing help in the court system under different parts of the ethical code, if you want to make that argument. So there's all that to go from. But I'm glad to have another therapist pop up from somewhere. I would love to have you on the show. Obviously, I wouldn't want to ask you to come on right now, because you probably want to learn a little bit more about me, know who I am. Any questions you have, any concerns, if you want more details, ask me them in an email. I'm pretty much an open book at this point. I've always been an open book. I'm probably more open with my clients than most therapists, but I've also had it provide a lot of success, and I have not had it fall or fail on me at this point. So the only failure I had with anything client-wise was scheduling, because of scheduling issues and miscommunication, and because of this shit. That's it. I've never had people say I've done horrible therapy, or this shit's not working, or you're fired. Nothing. So having another professional to talk to would be great. So just hit me up in an email. I'll definitely get back in touch with you. I normally stream on Fridays and Saturdays at the moment, which might be changing again. But if you're free tomorrow morning, calming the chaos, I normally start between 10:30 and 11:59 a.m. Eastern. But if you're free tomorrow and you love to talk for a few hours, or a little bit, or whatever time you have, I'm fine with that as well. So, or if you prefer a different day or week, that's great too. Again, I'm just trying to get other insight from other professionals here, because I have my assessment of the initial video, of the kid, of the case, and I've seen other people who are licensed professionals watch the video and read different things, and just, I can't ethically say there's nothing going on that doesn't involve trauma to that kid. That's coming from, it doesn't seem to be coming from the dad. And so that's where I stand. I've never said specifically that it's the boyfriend doing the abuse. It's possible, but there is, to me, a lot of signs of trauma, and I can't just not deal with that. I can't just let that go, is my thoughts on it. So also, let me just stop the screen share just to make sure I clicked the stupid fucking button that lets me share audio, because I know I fucking skip that every now and then. So, okay, here we go. So Psych Guy's back up. Hi to Psych Guy. Everybody wave. All right, so sorry for the tangent, but thank you so much, calming the chaos. If you can get in touch with me, or if you can't find my email for some reason, or you miss it, it's in the chat. It should be. It's usually posted in my other videos too, in descriptions somewhere. Reach out to me. I'll definitely get back in touch with you ASAP, and we'll see what we can do. But let's get this party going. So this is Psych Guy. He is a doubly board certified psychiatrist. So he's certified by the boards for both child and adult psychiatry. So psychiatry is normally these days medication management. So versus doing a lot of in-depth therapy. So he does more of the med side of it. So, because psychiatrists are physicians, they go through med school, they do a residency in psychiatry. That's where the psychiatry background, the psychology, the mental health all comes from. You get the tiny bit during your med school, and then you get the big part of it during your residency. And so that's what Psych Guy does. He's a psychiatrist. So a lot of meds, some therapy, like my psychiatrist at the VA, because I go to VA for my healthcare stuff because I'm a vet, and I see my psychiatrist for 20 minutes, usually checking up meds. I do the nurse stuff. Then when I see the psych, it's like meds. How's your meds doing? Any issues? Talk briefly about, overall mental health status and stuff. And then that's that. My true mental health counseling is with my psychologist from the VA. So also most therapists have therapists. So if you think that's not a thing, you're wrong. And I will fight anyone who argues against me on that. So, if you could send me that, I will look it over, and then maybe I'll take a peek at it on stream maybe tomorrow. But today I want to burn through at least 2 of these videos because, like I said, I got to cut off in exactly like 2 hours and 10 minutes. So I'm going to press play. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let Psych Guy do the talking. I'll jump in if there's anything I feel that's pertinent, or if you guys have any specific questions, I will stop to answer them if you don't understand something. Otherwise, we'll let him speak, and then I'll do my fair use analysis of and discussion, all of that at the end, which is still fair use, and it's still constructive. So I'm still doing things okay. I'm going at 1.25 speed. If it is too fast for you, say so. I will slow it down. But all right. So thank you guys. Let's get this show on the road. Welcome, Psych Guy. Welcome to Ken's Counseling Couch. Hope you enjoy your stay.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Psych Guys, back at it again. All right. Heads up, guys. The noise in the background, it's just my door's open here. The rain is crashing on the concrete. Love the sound, love the smell of a cool, crisp September rain. Just permeating the air. Yeah, good stuff. Always capture that moment. You can. It's very precious, very perceived. All right. Enough about that. Let's go on to this here. This is part 2 of our topic at hand. It is on the Sophie law case. Now, this will be the first and the last time when I mention your name. I don't like saying your name. The last time I do is come across as exploiting, trying to profit off of her, especially she's a minor. I hate putting her name in the title of this video. I did do so because I'm a small channel, and no one would probably know about this video because I'm a very, very tiny channel, right? So 2,750, so I suppose like say 100,000 or something like that, different story. I probably the initials or something. I guarantee this channel will be monetized. I wish other channels would like me, but they're not. For some reason, they like to go ahead and continue to try to profit. I just think that's very immoral and unethical. That's my opinion. But in any sort of situation, I'll go ahead and blur her image. If I put a video, I'll make sure I take her image off the clip or that. I probably won't put a video. I'll try to avoid that. So yeah, privacy is very, very utmost important to this channel, to respect the privacy of any sort of individual, especially minors. Minors who can't really consent. They're not even over 18 yet. So who am I? I'm Psych Guy, an adult board certified adult child psychiatrist. And it's just matched in psychiatry and psychology. High energy, high passion, high intensity. Heads up, if you guys try this channel, and if you don't see my video posted in a while, and you wonder what happened, I'm not going anywhere, okay? So just stick with me, no need to unsubscribe, because there'll be a video coming soon. All right, just means I'm kind of busy at the moment at the time. So yeah, don't give up, man. I won't give up, I promise. I guess one sense to describe this channel is that it's philosophical psychology with a twist of objective intellectualism. How's that? There we go. I just made it up just now. All right. No cue cards, nothing. We're on the fly here. Okay, speaking of which, this video, I'm just rambling here now. This video is on, who is she? If you guys are new, don't know. Watch my part 1. You don't want to watch my part 1 of this video. Basically, it's a sad case. She's a girl, a 10-year-old girl, her brothers. They're in the middle of this high conflict custody battle between 2 sets of parents. And it's been going on, the divorce happened in like 2010, and it's been going on in the past couple years, where mom's got primary custody, she's all this entire time. Dad has a couple of times tried to get custody, but has failed at it. And it seems like just recently, as the last ditch attempt, is the impression that I'm getting, sort of like as a Hail Mary. He's petitioned the courts one last time. That's the impression again that I'm getting. But it was actually after he got just really riled up and upset because his daughter was visiting him, and the story goes is she disclosed alleged abuse, I should say, at the hands of the mother's boyfriend. I guess it's alleged. And Dad really got Samson really riled up, and he's been always also frustrated. I think also there's been other videos where she's kind of mentioned this and disclosed this. I believe it's a CBS caseworker, and elsewhere there's a mention about also during a Zoom call, 4 perpetrators were there and abused her. And by the way, there's been, to this day, no concrete evidence, no concrete evidence, I should say, no receipts, proof. Everything is unsubstantiated, okay? These are just alleged claims. But, Dad and family was upset and riled up and was believing, and we all believe his daughter, okay? We don't think that she's maliciously, intentionally creating any of this. The situation is either one of two things. Either there is victimization in the form of SEX, or this victimization of the effect of parental alienation, coaching, exploitation. So it's one or the other. So either way, it's both damaging in nature. There are no winners here. There's only losers. And the girl's going to be traumatized. She was traumatized. And it's going to be it's going to really, unfortunately, affect her for a good chunk of her life. Unless if we go ahead and take the necessary steps to go ahead and help her out. And I think that thus far, I'm not that impressed with what's going on in regards to necessary sort of actions. If anything, right now, because of the father, his last attempt to go ahead and they can raise his hand. Sorry, I had to jump here. The rain was getting to be too much. It was kind of distracting, to be honest, and the wind was blowing the rain inside. No, but what was I saying? So yeah, to this case right here, it's really polarizing, and I'm going to try to, again, just in my last video, just in pretty much all my videos, to be as neutral and objective as possible. But I'll be honest with you, as the days are going by, it's getting harder and harder to do so because one side is just really screaming that it's the more likely right side. I think what happened in the beginning, folks saw the videos on the internet of a little girl screaming about getting SEX, by mother's boyfriend and not wanting to go over to mother's house as a result, and it understandably fired up a lot of people. Most everyone jumped in with their hearts before their heads, right? Being emotionally invested in the story. It was the biggest topic on the internet. But maybe I'm wrong, but I'm starting to see more and more people talk or take less interest into the story. This could very well be because everything is in limbo. The kids are in dad's house. Next court case is not until October, I believe end of October. But I think it has more to do with folks waking up and realizing about the good possibility of this maybe being a scam. Now, with my channel, I'm not going to directly say if it is or not, though I have my own thoughts about it, dealing with such cases, very, very similar to this one. But I could tell just from looking at, just the overall interest of the story, there's less YouTubers covering it. The dad even tweeted out to celebrities such as Taylor Swift and Donald Trump for help. And these celebrities, you understand, they usually have great PR firms. And if there's a story that will make and promote their clients in a better light that will benefit them, yeah, they'll jump in on it and quickly try to align with it. But Taylor Swift and likewise Donald Trump's camps, no response. Could it be that they wanted nothing to do with it because the story seemed shady? Maybe. Or maybe it could be that they are very, very busy. I mean, who knows? But then again, this was a national story and captured the hearts of millions of Americans, let alone millions of people around the world. So they're aware, and a lot of people slowly moving away from dad's side. Now that I can tell, going back to the story being very polarizing, to me, this is a story, this is like a litmus test, okay? To determine concrete thinking versus critical thinking, emotionality versus rationality, reactivity versus proactivity, jumping in versus stepping back. So this case, this story is very popular because of its dichotomous nature. What bothers me about this case, though, is that this one side, the concrete side, taking a sort of like absolutist, black or white, overgeneralizing, all or nothing type approach. By the way, these are all examples in cognitive behavioral therapy of something called cognitive distortions, which basically, in a nutshell, are irrational thinking patterns. That's all being exhibited here. They're trying to push this anti-American, almost communist manifesto that they're right because Sophie's right, and what she said goes. And if you don't side with the dad, you're not siding with Sophie. Look, as I stated in my last video, no one is against Sophie. No one thinks that she is masterminding intentionally and or maliciously making this up on her own. But dad's camp of supporters are pushing this notion that she has been SEX, ABUSED. In fact, even some of them spreading far-fetched rumors and allegations of mom going to jail and mom's boyfriend on the run just to fit their own narrative. When up to this making of this video, nothing has been substantiated or confirmed. Just all baseless allegations. Mom going to jail? Nope. Mom's boyfriend going on the run? Nope. The four folks in the hotel/motel? Nope. Nothing. And if anything, this mob mentality slash social vigilantism before gathering the facts, this is getting to be highly dangerous with legal professionals already recusing themselves from the case due to threats. It can ruin people's reputations, such as a mother's boyfriend, and follow him for the rest of his life, potentially, right? Someone can even die over this. In fact, there have been cases where people have lost their life, innocent people, right, over something similar to the situation. Perfect example. It happened in Russia just recently. I'll put a link to the story down below, but it involved an innocent dad who was allegedly raped and battered to death by vengeful parents after their daughter lied and said that he had abused her as a joke. Thanks, by the way, to, well, I don't want to name drop because I haven't gotten consent for the shout out. But he or she, I believe it's a he. I can't tell with these usernames. But anyways, this person put out this link in my comment section. So yeah. Okay, all right. And another thing I don't like is the father indirectly disrespecting the boys in blue. These fine men and women work tirelessly, and I'm pretty sure that had they found something substantial, that they would have uncovered it, i.e. the hotel/motel incident with the 4 perpetrators. I'm pretty sure that they reviewed the video security footage and or mother's boyfriend, and if there was something substantial, charges would have already been filed. But now, nothing. Could this all be a facade? Could this all be something that is wasting taxpayers' dollars by utilizing necessary proper services that could be shifted elsewhere? Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is that for some reason, his camp of supporters are trying to separate safety and privacy, arguing that safety is the most important thing, and it trumps everything, and it was the most important thing ever over anything and everything. And yeah, they're right. Safety is absolutely paramount, and I agree. You want to ensure and establish safety first and foremost, being one of the most primitive needs. A sense of safety and security. But you can't separate the two. They're both interconnected. For example, if you don't ensure optimal privacy in an individual, especially someone directly involved in this case, this type of case, especially if you're saying that she was SEXABUSE, then you're only going to expose her to potential safety issues. And the dad's posting up videos, pictures, clips, blasting her all over social media without any censoring, even after he gained primary residence till the next hearing. But still, he and his supporters continue to post her face all over. This is not the most therapeutic approach. If anything, this is going to be detrimental to her overall psychological well-being in the long run. I get it because I've seen folks from a longitudinal standpoint. I know the lingering effects of potential SA, and I know that doing something like what the dad is doing, like, okay, I get it if you want to show supporters that she is safe and like put one picture of her, with a birthday cake, with a birthday, on her birthday, that's fine. But the constant blasting her image, going on the media circuit, putting old photos of her, or clips, that hospital picture of her ankle, her foot, she was just allegedly ABUSED. They're like a lot of pedophilic, this is like pedophilic fodder. This is pedophilic fodder. Ever heard of the dark web? Don't you want to protect your child's safety? See, there's a lot of questions. Even though both parents have checkered pasts, I get that. Both sides aren't perfect. I mean, I myself, confession time, I stole a pack of bubblegum when I was a kid.
This man is a thief, and we cannot trust anything he says. Nothing. So, oh my, why are people not getting notifications? I have a community tab, and I have my locals, and still no one gets the fucking stream notifications. God damn it. This is frustrating as shit, which is fine. I'm sure that there will be an influx of people later. I also know people were mad because I took down for a good chunk of the week my Saturday video because I was trying to deal with a stupid claim, or not a claim, a privacy question that someone had with the video I was trying to address for them. And in doing so, it took me a few days to get it fixed properly. So it's up now, but I put it back up last night. But still frustrating. So I have a fucking issue with this, and I'm going to go back a few steps because I don't like how this is said. And we'll listen to it again because it's a really weird take, and this is also along the lines of also evidence I've been seeing by other people, because one of the big things that I was accused of being and all this. God damn this microphone stand. The stupid little elastic thingy came off of the little holes. And so now my fucking microphone stand doesn't want to plug. Better. Oh, this is the boomerathon today, boys and girls. Holy shit. Is that fit? Oh, I see what happened. I see it. Just bear with me one moment, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have that fancy elevator music shit that some people have. Well, that's wrong. I do have it. I don't have it set up properly yet. That's the problem. So, like, I have the one that's very common. It's actually by what is it? The guy that's really famous for doing all the YouTube audio for free, Kevin MacLeod or whatever. Like, I have the audio from him. It's called a local forecast, but I prefer the slower one because that sounds more like the technical difficulties kind of shit you would expect. Holy shit, this is frustrating the fuck out of me. If I don't fix this, I'm going to have bad vibrations, not good vibrations like Marky Mark, one long-time prophet once taught me. Okay. Jesus, is that better? Is that as good as it's going to get? Wow, that looks like a clusterfuck. Oh. That's about as good as it's going to get. So that'll have to work. Okay. Where were we? God damn it. All right. So let me yell at my dogs real quick. So real quick, if I can find it, people have been accusing any male who talks about this case, and I mean any male who talks about this case, as being perverted effectively, or that we're not allowed to talk about it. One, they're wrong for calling me a male, so I win on that. I win on that ground, right? So I can always use that argument, which, funnily enough, in I don't have the comments with me, but in the Critical K stream where she was talking about me the day after my firing or whatever, it was like the day or two after, someone from Nick's stream popped on Keck to talk about my termination, and Keck also brought up my my gender dysphoria shit. Is kind of, you know, I think he was kind of trolling them, but kind of pointing out some points. But the same people arguing that I shouldn't. Let's see here. Where the fuck did it go? Making those same arguments about me. They're also making arguments along the lines of, where'd it go here? Where's some fucking comments? It was something along the lines of I shouldn't be able to use my gender as a shield, and it doesn't make it any less it doesn't make it any less of a, like, it was really funny. I can't find it. I thought it took screenshots of that one, but I do have screenshots of. And this came out of, shit, whose chat was this? I think this is also Critical K's chat. In a very, very recent stream she did. Where the hell did it go? So I will need to open up new tabs for these. Actually, I will need a new window for these. So here we go. So we'll put this here, put this here. Someone goes here, this goes here, and then this goes here. Okay. So we'll switch topics real quick on the video screen because I think it's relevant to this discussion as well. So, and you'll see why here in just a second. I promise I'm not getting distracted. This all does have a point. My ADHD is not winning. I'm winning. I am in control. I have the Thanos glove, whatever it's called, because I don't fucking remember. I have the glove. I'm in control. So we'll start with this. I could share the window, I think, right? Yeah, the window should be fine. There's no audio, so share window. So we start with a comment like this from someone, right? This is in Critical Case chat the other night. Val Kyrie says, these men shouldn't be talking about these girls and their mothers to begin with. They followed up with, it's obscene. It's obscene. It's obscene to talk about this case, to talk about these things, if you're a man. Can you believe that? Now, there was more that came with this, right? So someone responded to Val Kyrie and said, so Ben Pennings, I don't know who this guy is, but a guy named Ben Pennings said, Val Kyrie, at Val Kyrie, why can't men talk about cases like this? That's a sexist view, right? To which Val Kyrie said, Ben, you cannot talk about a little girl's body ever. And yes, I'm sexist as fuck. Ignore these. I don't really care about those. They're out of context anyway. Also, apparently, Michael isn't able to handle his child's puberty. Apparently, dads have never, ever been able to handle a child going through puberty that's a female. So dads don't know how to deal with that. They don't know how to handle it. TV shows clearly prove the point that if a guy hears the words pads or tampons or periods, they freak out by nature and run away, and you have to have a woman to be there in response to the situation. That's the only option. Everything else is off the table. Period. Do you see what I did there? Did you see it? Did you guys see it? Did you see it? But it continues with one more message. Ben Pennings, again, this guy's kind of smart, said, Val Kyrie, then you can't talk about a little boy's body by that standard. Let's see. And then Val Kyrie, ignore these. Val Kyrie says, I wouldn't unless he was my son. And then that stream ended right after that. So there was no way to reply. So there was no way for anyone to respond to Val Kyrie in that stream. But this is just one example of the type of community that Critical K has supported. There's also the people who have made fun of Sophie's vagina. Did you guys hear about that one? Did you guys hear how Critical K's Patreon chats were, her Patreon chat room was making fun of Sophie's vagina? How they were saying that, making fun of the whole VV word, using raw chicken to make a vagina-like shape and object and to touch it inappropriately. You guys saw that, right? Because everyone's open and transparent about this case. Everyone's open and transparent about what's happened. Like, so we've all seen this, I'm assuming, right? This isn't off topic. Like, this isn't necessarily off topic. It all relates back to that, where the fuck did it go? Postings. Yeah, right. Where the fuck did it go? There we go. So I will do the simplified version of it because trying to do the long version of it will take too long. You get it? All right, so let's pull this over here. Actually, shit, I need to do it this way. Damn it, go back. So let's do it this way. All right. So I need to screen share this window. Okay, so some guy named Ken Jennings. I don't know who that guy is. I'm Jen Kennings. As you can, hold on. I'm Jen Kennings. That's a totally different person. So I'm Jen Jennings. This is Ken Jennings. I don't know why the avatars look similar. That's kind of bothering me. I feel like he's stepping on me. Again, very feminine avatar. So for people who don't know about the origination of the term VV, or so either VIVI or VEEVEE, depending on your spelling, it gets used differently. It was in the initial allegations on 28 July 2020 by Courtney Chalmers in her affidavit, talking about the different types of abuse she may have suffered, and different statements regarding her genital area. That's where that originated from. So that term came from there, and some of these images point out, the use of the term. As you can see, people. She was saying that people were doing, like, looking at it or touching it or taking pictures of it. So that's where the term origination comes from, right? That's where it comes from. So in someone's Facebook group, I think it was Critical Case, someone called out Critical K or her group or someone specifically. They said, so Sydney said, Brandy, you made the VV chicken joke. Chickens don't have a VV. Said, what? No, I don't. What the fuck are you even talking about? For the record, I'd never make fun of a child's sexual abuse. Even if it was a lie and they weren't abused, that's K and Crow. I would never stoop that low. And then Sydney Dunn said, do what? If you weren't in KY Jelly's chat, call me a saint. What are you talking about? So Brandy says she wouldn't do this. And then, oh no, the receipts get dropped. So this is Critical K's Patreon chat. K Marie, which is Critical K, is setting the nicknames, to my understanding. This is Critical K. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So someone sets the name. So someone named this person Kath Vivi. So they get the nickname Kath Vivi. Oh shit. Hold on, we're skipping ahead by accident. So someone gets the nickname Kath Vivi in the Patreon, right? They don't know why. So they go, Kath Vivi, explain my name, please. Vivi. And then the names get said again. And someone says, yes, lols, please explain to us what a Vivi is. Shannon Marie Watts says, I'm dying laughing. So they're laughing at this nickname of the Vivi. Now, we're going to get morbid for a second here. And so to prove that it was the actual image I received from the source, I posted the MD5s, the SH1, and the SH256 hashes to prove that they weren't altered. So if anyone wanted to verify from the original source who posted them, they could check the hash marks. So that I didn't change shit. Kath Vivi said, I'm not following how I got that name. I'm way too brain dead right now to think, unless it's about my appointment. I'm guessing she had a gyno appointment. That would be the only thing I could think of with that. And then Blake replied to Baba Booey, that's way too disgusting and sensual, because they posted this picture. I don't know if you could see what that is, but this is, son of a bitch, I went up too far. That's some raw chicken and they're touching it. That's way too sensual, disgusting. Look how funny this is, guys. Why aren't you laughing, chat? K Marie replied to Kath Vivi. Again, about how they're not following. Kath V is equal to Kath VV refer. I'm assuming that part's a typo. So, and then we continue. And so Shannon Marie Watts says, LMAO dead. I have nothing. And then Baba Booey. Notice how they post a picture of the chicken in a very specific shape to say. I'll say the words because people are afraid to say the words vagina or vulva or things like that, or labia minora or labia majora, because they're too hard of words to say out loud. Apparently saying those words makes you a pervert, even though they're the grammatically correct, the anatomically correct, like proper terms that we're supposed to use when we talk about this shit. Look how funny it is, guys. It's fucking funny, right? So it's inappropriate for a guy to talk about it. All inappropriate for guys to talk about this. It's disgusting. You're a pervert. You're a sicko. And I've got more screenshots of shit like that. You're a sicko if you want to look at shit like that. And so let's see. Yep. So here's the images in whole as attachments to that post. There's all the comments and shit that go along with it. So if anyone's interested, you can find that on A Farm Made of Kiwis, I think is what it's called. I don't know. I've never heard of the place before. So someone posted those images there. So thank you to that hero, whoever that was. They're such a hero. Let's see here. What were we doing? Oh yes, we were still talking about Psych Guy. So let's go back to Psych Guy. And that's not the video that we were watching. It was this one. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna pick back up here on this video. We're gonna listen to the part where Psych Guy talks about inappropriateness, or almost like pedophile baiting, which I don't like the take. It's a bad take in my opinion. So let's listen to that. So we're picking back up right here. And we're playing.
Long run. I get it because I've seen folks from a longitudinal standpoint. I know the lingering effects of potential SA, and I know that doing something like what the dad is doing, like, okay, I get it if you want to show supporters that she is safe and like put one picture of her, the birthday cake with the birthday, on her birthday, that's fine. But the constant blasting her image, going on the media circuit, putting old photos of her, or clips, that hospital picture of her ankle, her foot, she was just allegedly ABUSED. They're like a lot of pedophilic. This is like pedophilic fodder.
Pedophilic fodder. Pedophilic fodder. Literally his words. Transcription got it right. Pedophilic fodder. By posting pictures of your child online because she may have been sexually abused, that's pedophilic fodder. This was the same argument that was used on my streams the day I was doxxed and in the weeks afterwards, right? Is you're providing content to people who will use it to sexually pleasure themselves. They'll want to read these cases of abuse and they'll get off to it. And you're creating stuff for them to do. My argument is there is way more shit out there. One, it's public record. I can't stop that. It's their choice to use the information in that way. Disgusting as it may be, it's not my choice to be able to stop it. Like, I can't stop that person from doing it. If they don't obtain it from me, they'll obtain it from something else, or they'll go elsewhere. Trust me. The ways you can obtain inappropriate images or pictures or literature about children for sexual gratification, it's almost too easy for the average person to find. It would take the average person 1 hour with a simple hint or two to find the right ways to get to the right information, and boom, you have access to anything you want. Or at least a good bit of shit, because there's the dark web, there's shit you can find on the surface web. I mean, there's legal, quote unquote, legal types of child erotica stuff like Lolicon and Shotokan, which is drawn cartoonish, like Japanese style art that, so it's just drawn images, legal in the United States effectively. A lot of other countries actually outlaw it, even though there's no child or actual victim. It's just a drawn image of a random person, no one particular. Other countries do outlaw it. The United States free speech laws protect that for the most part. Written child erotica, like sex stories, they're out there. There's websites dedicated to it. That's completely legal. There is nothing illegal about reading that. There's nothing illegal about writing that or posting that or hosting that. It is protected speech in the United States. I'm prefacing that. Whether you like it or not, it is protected speech. So if they want something to read or to use to get off to, why would you read an affidavit? Like, that's not, I mean, if that's your thing, I'm obviously not supportive of it, but I'm sure if it's not this case, it's another case, or it's another case, because all this shit's public record. It's a bad argument. Ivan the Great said that's insane. Why would that be legal? Are you speaking in terms of like Lolicon and Shotokan, or of like written child erotica, like sex stories? I can explain it. I just want to make sure I have it correct, so I can give you the proper explanation. So because there's a reason that, and it's a more of a legal case, and it might be a fun legal case. Yeah, don't. The FBI has been listening for a long time. Trust me, the FBI has been listening since before I joined the military, because the job I went into the military, I had to get the TSSCI shit. Yeah, I've had the FBI go talk to every friend and family member I've ever known for the last 10 years before I joined the military. I'm familiar with the process. I'm probably on watch list. I've given up. I don't care at this point. I just know I'm probably getting listened to and recorded. Thanks, thanks, Greg, from the CIA. That was a great meme you sent me. I love that one. It was so nice of you. Also, Phil over at the NSA, he's such a great guy, man. I love it when he actually talks to me while he's watching my computer, and he is spying through my webcam. We talk back and forth. It's a little thing, you know. But so let me go back to Ivan the Great. So Ivan the Great said, that's insane. Why would that be legal? So if you're talking about the drawings, it can either be 2D or 3D. So think of like hentai. It's effectively hentai, but the characters, instead of being adult age or appearing adult age, appear to be teenagers, preteens, children, school-age children, toddlers, babies, infants, the whole 9 yards, right? But it's legal because there's no victim, there's no crime, right? There's no person that's harmed by the drawing itself. The drawing itself is a protected form of speech, right? The only way you could have it be illegal would be as if it met the obscenity standards. So there's a 3-part test for determining if something is obscene. That's the whole I know it when I see it joke from the Supreme Court, which is actually was said in the Supreme Court. It's a whole fun case. But the most recent ruling on that was in the 2000s, I think, early 2000s. Ashcroft versus Free Speech Coalition. It's a really interesting case where they tried to censor a lot of shit on the internet. So things like 3D models, 2D drawings, 3D drawings, all that shit is legal unless it is ultra or photorealistic to the point that you cannot distinguish it between a drawing and an actual person. As long as you can distinguish the difference, then it's legal, unless it's also obscene, or if, say, you were arrested and you're on probation or parole, and your probation or parole prohibits you from possessing that, then you could go to jail for it. But if I just go out and draw something, or if I write something, if I write a story, that itself is not illegal. That's a protected form of speech. So you can't be criminalized for that speech in the United States. Now, countries like the UK and other ones, they're very particular on that shit. Like I said, you do not have to like it, but it is protected speech. And I know a lot of people will get weird by that. But there has been research, and I've been collecting a bunch because I'm considering doing my own research into a controversial topic, which, thank you, Kaylee, for keeping to misquote me on my actual stance on this shit, who didn't even understand what I was talking about, and misquoting my actual take on it. Is there's no real research on like child sex dolls right now. There's people saying they're bad and harmful, but if they can be used in a therapeutic environment and a therapeutic means to help relieve someone who has a likely who's going to have a lifelong sexual attraction to minors, and if it's a healthy outlet that can be done properly, I think that could be a very helpful therapeutic method to reduce overall instances of sexual offending. That's my goal. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, then it has the potential to be a huge therapeutic change in a lot of ways. There has been research to show that things like the drawn pornography, the story access online, did correspond with a drop in the amount of incidences of sexual offending or violent offenses. So there is a potential that the same applies to this stuff here. If this stuff is helping by giving people an outlet, because one, there's a fucking lot of artists. There's too much of this shit, right? Two, it gives you something to do that's not illegal. It gives you a sexual outlet that's not illegal. It doesn't mean it's going to make you want it necessarily. Now, for some people, it may. For other people, it's, I can do this instead of actually doing something horrible and illegal. That's for their way to cope with their sexual urges and issues. Again, a person who struggles with pedophilic disorder, they have, their own internal struggle with their sexual identity because they sexually are attracted to prepubescent children. A lot of them not necessarily want that. A lot of them have tried to change it and they can't. That's why there's the argument that it's possibly genetic. It's possibly in your DNA somehow. So I don't believe it's a learned behavior. I believe it is ingrained to a strong degree. Now you can you can get interested in new things, but to change your core level sexual interest like that, it's very hard. So, bad phrasing. God damn it. But back to Psych Guy, arguing that putting pictures of kids online while you're trying to drum up interest for this case of your child needing help with the court system. One, I get the argument he's making, but I think it's a bad argument because guess what? If you go by RAIN statistics, so what is it? What the hell's RAIN stand for again? It's the National Coalition for, it's like a national coalition for rape and sexual assault survivors, basically. If you take the statistics at face value of all victims under age 18, 2 out of 3 are ages 12 to 17. It's like 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 girls by the age of 18 will have been sexually abused. So about 20% to 25% of all kids will be sexually abused at some point by the time they turn 18. So think about that. So anyone who posts a picture of their kid, if your kid's that 1 in 5, you've created pedophilic fodder. It's a easy way to take this argument and run with it. It's stupid. And I don't support like the running with it in such a horrible direction because it sounds stupid. But it's the argument you can make is that anyone posting pictures of their kids ever, if your kid may have been sexually abused, then you're creating pedophilic fodder because they can find your pics on Facebook or they can find your shit on Instagram or on TikTok. You want pedophilic fodder? Go to TikTok. Letting kids post a bunch of random shit on TikTok. You have more pedophilic fodder there than you do with this case. Sorry. That's my thoughts on that. So let's continue before I rant a little bit more. So back to Psych Guy.
This is pedophilic fodder. Ever heard of the dark web? Don't you want to protect your child's safety? See, there's a lot of questions. Even though both parents have checkered pasts, I get that. Both sides aren't perfect. I mean, I myself, confession time, I stole a pack of bubble gum when I was a kid. But the focus is actually on the girl and her overall psychological makeup and well-being. And there are more and more questions coming out for the father. And the dad has done nothing. I mean, nothing to help out his case. If anything, he's done a lot to hinder it. Look, in his defense, he's absolutely right. The courts a lot of times are set up to favor the mother in custody battles from the get-go due to its tendency to align with old Freudian maternal favoritistic, I don't think that's even a word, but this is roll with it, leanings with the maternal object being the primary libidinal attachment object of love in utero, nutritional supplementation via placenta, and after birth in vivo with baby infant nestled up to mother's bosom to further promote and enhance the notion of security / attachment / comfort and or also achieve nutritional comforts through feedings of breastfed. So yeah, basically this antiquated Freudian alliance with mother premise that the courts under the table abide by. So he's right about that. However, according to him though, he's saying that the mother is a bad fit for the children, that mother's boyfriend is bad news, and allegedly SEXABUSED, his daughter. This is a guy who's basically saying that mother's home environment and mother herself.
So stopping real quick because the calming one asked the question and said, "Couldn't it be both?" What are you talking about specifically? Because I'm listening to the video and trying to do chat. So not to sound like a dick, I promise I'm not. If you do tag me with a question, can you point towards like the thing he said in the video or the thing you were talking about in chat, just so I'm trying to keep up with the conversations. I'm happy to answer the question. If you're talking about the video and the abuse, or if you're talking about pedophilic disorder and how it originates and the treatment of it, because I have comments on both. The calming the chaos. Sorry. I'll put your thing on screen real quick until I hear back from you, so I don't forget, because I don't want to forget. Ivan the Great, you make an interesting point. Let's see. Ivan the Great says, "But when one is sexually abused, they tend to grow up into abusers. They should put more water into learned behavior, wouldn't it?" So that's a misunderstanding of statistics, right? So there is a statistic that shows that of people who have sexually abused, or raped or molested, that there's likely a chance that they were abused as a child. The number's pretty high. There is, and I don't know the number off the top of my head. I can find it if there's enough interest in it. I could do a topic show on it. But there is no correlation or causation to show that being abused means you're going to abuse. There are plenty of people who have been sexually abused, who've never hurt anyone, never touched anyone. So by itself, the two things can look like they're related, but they're not. That's what you have to make sure you don't mix up by accident, because if you mix that up, then it sounds like one means to the other. The other counselor in chat can correct me if they disagree with that take. So, whether or not it's specifically a specific part of a gene or genes, I don't know, but there is. Could pedophilia? Okay, here we go. Coming to kiss. Couldn't pedophilia be both DNA and learned behavior? Possibly. I think just like you're a counselor, so you understand it just as well as I do. Nature versus nurture. What do we normally say? It's likely both. There's probably parts from part A, probably parts from part B. It's to the degree that each person, I would say, it's to the degree of how impactful nature or nurture was on them. Maybe someone's nurture failed them, and that's why they have more nature take over. Maybe they got a bad roll of the dice as far as environment, as far as biology. I don't necessarily say it's 100% bio. I'm not saying it's 100% of anything. I'm very gray. I don't like absolutes. Like I tell all my clients, there is no always or never. If you say always, like, oh, this never happened to you, not even one time they were nice to you, like when you're dealing with kids, like not one time they were ever just say hi, or that looked like, I don't like absolutes for a reason. I'm sure it floats in there somewhere, probably somewhere in the 60-40, 70-30 range. It probably goes back and forth. Again, it's an area that does need more research, just like treatment methods for pedophilic disorder need more research. The thing is my thoughts on the topic, and that's why my interest in seeing whether dolls, because dolls have been proven recently for a lot of guys to be a very healthy, when done properly and not done in an obsessive manner, to be a healthy manner for them to deal with their own feelings, to help them. Some people help them practice with relationships or sexual behavior. If they're not comfortable dating, or like I know I don't know if you know much about the MGTOW movement, Calming the Chaos. There's a couple of guys I talk to regularly who are in the MGTOW movement, and they're very big on, like, I'm not getting married, and there's a lot of guys who have been moving to dolls as well. I think that would be a really fun discussion if you've ever heard of it or familiar with it, or if you're interested in learning it, because I think it's a potential to discuss something that, because I'm not MGTOW myself. I don't care if people do. Like, I'm married, relationship has problems like anyone else's, right? And that doesn't mean even if we got divorced, for example, doesn't mean I wouldn't date again. But I can understand a bit where people like them are coming from. And just because I interact with them doesn't mean I agree with them 100% on everything. You can do that. People don't understand that. So, but Coming once is right. It also depends on the person, how sensitive they are. I love DBT model. I do a lot of mixed method practice. Like, I grab the pieces I need and use them, and I've gotten effective outcomes. I use a lot of stuff that frameworks itself around CBT, but I do a lot of God damn it. I do a lot of different things as far as I have a few core methodologies I use, and they just work together. And a lot of it is just constantly challenging my clients, like constantly asking them, are you sure that's the right move? Did you think about it this way? And have you thought, did you think about this? Or what about this option? Why not do this? Are you sure you're right about that? And constantly asking them questions that are difficult. And, I've had clients tell me, I've been to therapy before, and, I sat there and talked for most of the hour. And they're like, you talk a lot in counseling, or you ask me a lot of questions and stuff. And I told them it's because you have to be able to learn these skills yourself. Learning how to answer your own questions is helpful. So by pushing back, by giving you the ability to critically think, to work through it, I give you the tools you'll need to help these situations and get better from them, whether that's a 5-year-old or whether that's an adult. And it's shown effective with what I've done, and I'm happy with how it works. Never had a complaint as far as that goes. The only complaint I had was one of my clients. She was around like 9 to 10 or 11 or something. She would always make fun of me, and she'd always say, so tell me more about that. But funny enough, she'd probably be a good counselor when she got older. Calming the Cat says, I'd be willing to learn more about anything. Yeah, I've know a little tiny bit about it, Calming the Chaos on DBT. I just need to do more formal trading, probably some books and audio, probably get some audiobooks, maybe some PowerPoints. One of the things I shared in one of my recent videos, I don't know if you're familiar with this YouTube channel. Great fucking YouTube channel. Highly recommend it for anyone who wants to learn more about counseling. Check out All CEU's education. Wait, did it pull down that chat? Or did it not let me? Okay, there it goes. Yeah, check out All CEU's education. They post a bunch of continuing education PowerPoints and videos and trainings, all free. You don't pay shit for them. You can subscribe to their channel, like the membership button for they have a $4.99 and a $9.99 a month thing. There are some perks that come with it. But there's a members only live discussion for $9.99 fee, which is pretty cool if you have questions. But we watched, for example, a whole video from them on parental alienation by a person who had a PhD, at least a PhD. They had their LMHC or something like that. Very educated video, very helpful, insightful to help my video, help me personally, but helped other people too get the insight that a counselor is. That's why I read documents and research in source material. I go into you remember from fucking grad school, the books are dry as fuck sometimes. The research you can read is dry as fuck sometimes, but the information you get out of it is so damn important. That's why I do it. And it allows people to learn to make the same decision-making process we do. Because I don't want to be the person like all these other places have and tell you, oh, this mom is right, this mom is wrong, this dad is right, this dad is wrong. I want you to learn how to do the shit yourself. I have my views on it. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. I've been attacked. I've lost my job over it. But guess what? I'm not stopping talking about it because that means they win. And I will not let them win. I win by continuing to move forward. As stressful and as painful as the last month has been, which, by the way, guys, I don't know if you know this, but today marks literally 30 days since I got fired, if I'm remembering correctly. So if I do that, yep, 31 days is today. Or 32 days. I don't know how you calculate that properly. So, because I was fired on Tuesday, July 20th. Today is Friday, August 20th. So, It's been a whole month. It's been a fucking mess. It's been a mess. My personal life, my relationship, my professional life, work relationships, everything has been so messed up because of this. But on the bright side, I've had an ungodly level of support from people I don't even know who've come out to say, I almost fucking said my first name. They come out and say, "Hey Ken," or Jen, because my name's Jen on the screen right now. "Hey Jen, we support. Hey Ken, God damn it. Hey Ken, we support you. We want to help you get through the next couple months. Tell us where to donate. Tell us where we can help out. We just want to, it's bullshit that this happened to you. How can we support you? We love your content." People spending time just chit chatting with me, going back and forth, taking time out of their day. Just like this morning, a few loyal people that I've trusted with since this all started. They were talking with me about some personal stuff because I've just really needed an outlet, and it's been hard. It's been such a fucking stressful thing to go through, and I'm still struggling with it personally. And I hate to say that out loud sometimes. I'm trying to come off and appear strong, but fuck, man, this hurts. It hurts so bad to have all your clients pulled out from underneath of you. Which actually, while you're in chat, while I've got you in chat here, calming the chaos. Oh yeah, I learn more from my clients too. And counselors need counselors. Actually, there was someone in a different stream, Calming the Chaos, that was arguing with me that if a counselor is seeing a therapist, then they're not good, they're not able to be a counselor, which I went hard at them on. Not like in a bad way. We were having a fun discussion about it. Also, Battle, hey Ken, says, "Hey Ken," or Yoka, and say, thanks, Battle. Thanks everybody too who was talking with me earlier, and just kind of helping me out because I was going through a bit of a rough part this morning. Things have just been all over the place personally. So I really cannot thank everybody enough for just being there and just listening. And just, I know I'm bitching a lot. I know I've been bitching a bit. I don't like to bitch. But it's been really helpful to have an outlet. And so thank you for that. I will say I am very appreciative of that. So let me finish up this last thing I'm working on here. And then we'll get back to also, if you still want to help out, if you're able to, I have been considering doing this more full time in the meantime while I look for a job, because I do enjoy this a lot. I get a significant amount of entertainment, and it is a stress relief for me to come on here and do this. I can actually breathe a little easier doing this. So if you guys do want to help out some more, the GoFundMe is still up. You can go to supportken.com and help me out there. You can also go to, and it should have updated the description now. If you'd have to probably refresh the page, but I updated the description to include my support information. If you want to send a tip to have read on stream, you can go to supportken.com/tip or streamelements.com/Ken's Counseling Couch/tip. I prefer the URL that's shorter. But also RBT and DBT are very good therapy methods too. It's about finding the methods that work for you. It's okay, Twisted. I know if you're driving, be careful. Diego Machado said, "My therapist told me once she had to go to a therapist when she started counseling because some of the stories her clients told her were very difficult to deal with." That's absolutely true. It's sometimes very, imagine dealing with cases of sexual abuse all day. There's like a place near where I live called the Child Advocacy Center. There are places like Child Advocacy Centers all around the area that they do nothing but work with cases of sexual abuse. So you're dealing with sexual abuse every single day. You're helping people do uh, traumatic. It's like a type of CBT for trauma. I'm fucking forgetting the name. TFCBT, trauma focused CBT, where you're literally helping people rewrite their trauma narratives, how they went through their trauma, making them be able to take control and get power back. And that's your job every day with kids, every day. If you didn't need a therapist, I would be concerned. My therapist has a therapist. My psychiatrist has a therapist and psychiatrist. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a big circle of fucking help. It's great to have that support network. Am I getting this? Oh, great. Okay, that's pretty funny. Battle, that thing you linked to me in chat was that you just posted in my chat. That's beautiful. Because I don't even know what to say to that. Hold on one second. I need to pull the screen share down real quick because I got to do one thing real quick before I lose the opportunity to save it, because this person doesn't leave their streams up. So might as well do it now while I have the opportunity, because I do not want to lose these. Also, if you haven't noticed, people, I keep archives of everything. Not necessarily something you want when you fuck with someone and you try to ruin their life, is to have someone whose literal hobby is data hoarding. I have literally, like, how many hard drives? I've got like 8 to 10 terabytes of data from data hoarding at this point in my life. I've got a home server that I use for data hoarding. Like, I bought an enterprise server, an old enterprise server to use for data hoarding. Why? Because why not? Because there's some things on the internet that get lost and go away to the ether. They shouldn't. So I make sure they don't go away. Especially when people are talking shit about me, or when people have done negative things, or have said fucked up things about me, and then try to hide it. I don't let that shit just fade away. So Ivan the Great said, I was taking psychology in college, but I didn't think I could handle dealing with children of any age with broken hearts and souls such as that. I'm not saying it's easy, but man, when you help make, and Calming the Chaos can fucking back me up on this. I don't know if you work with children or not, Calming the Chaos, but if you do, you can back me up on this. Or just any client in general, is when you have the ability to make that change and make that difference in someone's life, you work through the pain with them, and it's okay to cry or to be upset with someone if they're telling you this awful story. It's okay to feel. You don't have to be a fucking stone wall. The only thing you have to make sure to take into consideration when you do therapy like that is that you don't let your personal issues impact the quality of care. So as if I'm like doing transference or countertransference where I'm taking on their problems, or I'm putting my problems and kind of projecting it to them, then that's a problem. But if you can do the therapy, then you do the therapy. To me, that's the motivation. Is I have someone come in and they have these horrible stories, or these horrible backgrounds, or this horrible situation going on, and I want to help them feel better. And I tell them that, like, today sucks. We're going to try and make tomorrow a little bit better. And, that's the aim. So, and I love working with kids. I'm a 10% male in a 90% female career field. It's hard to find guy therapists or male therapists, whatever, right? So if, and I've had parents request male therapists for their daughter or for their son because they're more comfortable with it, or they want a role model, was one of them, which I thought was weird, but ended up being a fantastic client relationship. Never once had any issues with people alleging impropriety. Always have trusted me with their kids. And I love working with kids, and I will never not work with kids. I don't care what anyone tries to do to undermine me. Like, I do my best when I work with kids. I don't know what it is. I don't know how I do it, but I do good work with her, and I will not let anyone take that from me. So, but Also, that kind of helps. You kind of learn about your own issues as a therapist. And also, being a therapist, when you sit on the couch after you've become a therapist and while you're becoming one, if you've ever been in therapy and then you're learning to be a therapist, you get to see both sides of the process, which is why I think therapists should be in therapy. So you can understand what it's like when a counselor's telling you, hey, do this thing, or hey, do that thing, or why aren't you doing this, or why aren't you doing that? And, if you're being lectured to, be like, well, stop fucking lecturing to me if I don't want to be lectured to. I want you to work with me. And you can learn how to better do those client relationships. So, for eating disorders, someone asked me, not that many, I think a couple, and they weren't that bad. But the comment he has says, I do work with children. I love seeing changes in people. Self-care is difficult. Gotta go now, but we'll be watching the rest later. Thanks. Hey, make sure you message me, Calming the Chaos. I really want to have a stream with another counselor. I so look forward to your email. I will make sure to check after I get off the stream and get home from picking up my wife from work. So, but let's finish this video up and see where this takes us. Ivan the Great says, Ken, you're very compassionate, understanding, and forgiving. 3 very important things with working with children. Yeah, I agree. And that's one of the things that has worked really well with parents and families too. Why I like doing family therapy is, one, I'm not afraid to tell parents if they're doing bullshit. Like, listen, stop fucking up. Or stop doing this. Or if, there's an issue, like, look, and I'll stand up for the mom, or I'll stand up for the dad, I'll stand up for the kid. And I'll let the kid stand up for themselves in front of their parent. Which is why I love family counseling, is I can let the kid come into a room and let them have equal power in that room to say to mom and dad, Mom, stop doing stupid shit. Dad, stop doing stupid shit. It's really hurting my relationship with you. I want us to work through this. And letting kids be able to say it without the fear of being yelled at or screamed at or getting in trouble. Dude, it's so great to watch. You get to watch a family grow stronger. And that is so fucking powerful, man. I love the shit out of it. I know that sounds weird, but that's why I love my job. Is because I know with my problems, if I could find someone to help me and do that same kind of thing, man, I could never repay them for that. There's no amount of money you can give to help someone repair a fucking family that's falling apart. And if you can fix it and they can get stronger and better together and be able to move past it and not need you anymore, man, you've just set them up for success. They may have never had that opportunity. Maybe you were the right person to do that. Maybe they could have got it with anyone else. But in that moment, that's a win for me, and I'll take that win. I don't care if that sounds narcissistic. I don't care if that sounds like I'm making myself out to be better. For that moment, I know I won. I know I did good to help them feel better. That's all I asked. That's all I wanted, was to help them and their family become stronger and better together. Give me 1 second. All right. Also, if you guys didn't see earlier when I had the other cam up, where I've almost hit the GoFundMe goal. Between donations I've gotten through Stream Elements and to anyone who's about to ask me or who asked me previously, my Stream Elements money has come in. It did process, so that has worked. So just to clarify on that. If you want to send me a message or something or leave a comment or something in one of my on this video afterwards, or send me an email about it with links, I could possibly make it a stream in the future. But I do need to finish at least this video, because I do have to cut out of here at 2:50, no later. So let's get this at least video done, and maybe get the other one done too. So, but I will stop for any important questions pertaining to the video, or if you have an important question for me relating to the topic at hand. So, not to shut anyone up, but I can easily get into too much of chat. This is one of my downfalls. So let's continue.
Is it overall, a good fit, fit to be a good primary custodial parent? Then you would think it should be easy for him to successfully build a case to easily win primary custody of his children, right? I mean, mom's the bad girl with bad baggage, right? So why has he been struggling the past many, many years and not been successful at winning custody? Well, I'll tell you why. Courts like people who do whatever it takes to make it happen. This is a guy who has not really shown any sort of drive to win his kids back, at least under my impression. If anything, he's showing that he's like a deadbeat dad, mooching and living in an RV on his parents' land. Courts don't want to hear that. They like security and stability in the parental object. That's gonna help get the W. I mean, next thing you know, he took off. You're hearing about him taking off on some weird 8-month out-of-state pilgrimage, as if he was some character from Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales. The Dad's Tale, let's call it that, The Dad's Tale. By the way, side note, but do you guys remember in high school having that teacher who hyped The Wife of Bath's Tale, but did so in a negative manner, like giving the strict, firm warning to not read it, implying if you read it as if it were the most disturbing thing that you'll ever cross in your life? Dude, I got so scared that I never bothered reading it to this day. But yeah, whew, very controversial. Anyways, so go like this. Okay, yeah. So he goes over for 8 months.
Yeah, it was on his end. Sorry.
Right, this trek. No court is gonna like that. Not only that.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
From his children.
Okay, I thought one of the kids' faces was uncensored. Also, it looks like for a second they censored the armpit. I'm like, why would you censor the armpit? But okay, I guess it's just a blur. I'm like, why the fuck are they? That's weird as shit. But okay, that was just me looking like out of the corner of my eye. I thought it was weird.
On this pilgrimage, right?
Let's continue.
No court is gonna like that. Not only that, but the little recommendations the court made or the requirements they made for him, he couldn't even follow that. The psychological evaluations or the current gag order, not sure how that's going to win the courts, unless maybe the judge is a big fan of Rebels. Homeboy trying to be like James Dean or something, but even James Dean wouldn't do something ridiculous and go against the judge's orders. Next thing you know, the guy is riding around in a limousine, getting out of it as he's some sort of like 2-bit broken down version of Kid Rock. I mean, what is this? I mean, nothing is adding up.
Oh god, damn it! I did that shit again. Hold on, where did we leave off? Fucking hell. I hate when I do that. I think I can figure out the timestamp. Wait, there we go. Go back. I have a copy of the video running in another window of my stream to make sure I don't lag out or whatever. And so I've got it opened, and so I can find the fucking timestamp. I fucking am so mad right now. $18.26. There we go. Perfect. Boom. I'm not a complete failure. No one responded to that. God damn, I'm so fucking pissed right now. I can't even tell you how mad I am right now over that. That pisses me off. 1826. Right about here. It was right about here. Here we go.
Absolutely no interest in wanting the limousine.
There we go.
Getting right out of it as he's some sort of like 2-bit broken down version of Kid Rock. I mean, what is this? I mean, nothing is adding up, and everything he's doing is just shooting himself in the foot, showing that he has absolutely no interest in wanting to win custody. Does he even have a steady job? I mean, courts again want to see some sort of stability. They don't want the nomadic. They don't want the nomadic drifter type leeching off his parents' land type. Okay, any sensible person who's trying to win custody should do whatever it takes. Going door to door, taking any sort of job, working at McDonald's, for example. Who cares if he's working along people half his age? Really, the main ultimate goal is, just collecting money, saving money, so that he can do anything to show that he's trying. Taking as many jobs while the stepmother runs the online business, so that he can go ahead and present to the courts, show the courts that he's actually making a valiant effort to show that he can provide for his children, or at least try to. But instead, he finds out and suspects that his daughter has been sex, abuse, allegedly, okay, right? All right, let's just go and play devil's advocate. Let's just say that it's true, okay, it happened. Why would he take her back then to the wolf's lair and drop her back into her mother's care when his daughter was screaming and telling him and pleading to him? And
I actually have an argument about that. I will take note of it, and I'll explain it at the end. Let me just write that down. Okay, I just wanted to make that point. I do have something to say about that. I'm not missing it, I promise.
Everything around that mother's boyfriend was allegedly molesting her. I mean, if this were my daughter, heads would be rolling. I would contact CPS, I would contact the authorities, and tell them, no way in heck am I going to make the drop off. You know, like something like I'll say, you know, like I'm highly concerned. If she can't be with me, then she needs to be in a safe and protected environment, maybe a hospital or anywhere but mom's. End of discussion. I'm really concerned for her safety. I would be more focused on my daughter's safety instead of focused on filming her and her reaction. I mean, maybe he and stepmother were in shock and in autopilot mode and didn't know what to do and were scared that if they were late to make the drop off to mom's, and you know they would be reported for failure to make the exchange.
I will stop here and make this argument. As Michael explained this in his interview with Nick Rakita on Rakita Law's channel. So if you go to youtube.com/Rakita Law, he did an interview with Mr. Long, and he kind of explained it in the sense that he knew that if he tried to interfere, he thought that things would get worse, I believe was the interpretation. And so he just kind of stood back and just let things kind of go down. And please correct me, guys, if I'm wrong on that. But that's the interpretation I got from that. So that he was just trying to kind of cool things off a bit and let the kind of and did the and he did what he did with the video was a way to kind of show what the hell's the word I'm looking for. Kind of basically to record what was going on, because I think there was something about having stepped in before being an issue, and that he didn't want it to look like he was influencing, maybe. And that's the kind of impression I would get from doing something like that. He was trying to let the handoff go over. Obviously, it wasn't going well. And that was the best understanding I had of it at that time. So remember, this video is back from last year. So I think this video is dated September 22nd. So this is middle of the thing. The case gets permanently sealed for new documents being released officially in September 30th was the date of the sealing order. Now, some of us journalists, as I am acting as a journalist in this capacity, we have obtained documents from sources, and we have methods. We have multiple sources providing multiple documents across multiple groups of people. Just saying. Don't assume it's one person or the other. Don't assume, oh, it's just Michael or people like Michael. No, it's not. Not at all. Say, don't get your shit out of order. You'll be very surprised who's been supportive over the last month. So I've been fucking shocked by who's been supportive over the last month, because never, especially from the people who are supportive of Kelly, have come to say, hey, Ken, you kind of got fucked off with that. That was not okay. Like, that shouldn't have happened. I can't thank people enough for, being willing to stand up for that and say, hey, that was wrong. You should not have lost your job. They should have kept the shit on, they should have stayed online. There's no reason to go after your job. Which I agree to. My whole argument the entire time was to just talk. So I don't know why that was a problem. So also, there we go. Perfect. All right, so let's pick this back up. Again, I just wanted to say that was my interpretation of why you would sit back and record. I would because remember, if he takes the kid and runs with the kid like he allegedly is now, like Psych Guy's arguing, why didn't he just not follow through with it? Because he's got a court order. Remember the whole contempt thing that everyone's freaking out about? That probably has something to do with it. Just saying that there's probably something to do with that, and why he may not have taken those specific set of actions. Not saying I agree or disagree with that, but can you really fault the man for, choosing to not put himself at that time in a situation that doesn't benefit him or his child? So that's where I'll make my argument on that, because I don't think it's fair to make it otherwise. I think it's a stupid argument to say, well, he should have took his child and did this and that with her at the time. Like, well, no, you can't, there is a court order in place. You can't just, not fucking follow it. Not just, just do whatever I want. Whatever, I do what I want. Nah, Cartman, you can't do that. Sorry, buddy. So, like, to me, this is one of the bad arguments I see in this stream or this video, right? Is there's different arguments like this that bother me and that just don't make sense to me from this perspective of a case like this. Is this where I take issue? Yeah, and there was other shit that went down. Psych Guy himself in the last video admitted that he hasn't seen all the documents, and he said he didn't watch the video of Sophie in the last video. I'm pretty sure myself and other people heard Psych Guy say he did not watch the video of what happened with Sophie. And to me, how could you make an accurate analysis in general without watching the video? Because that's a bit concerning. Like, how do you do that? Like, how can you do that? Because it doesn't add up. Like, how do you... what's the way to phrase it? Like, it's bothering me because I can't figure out the way to word it. You have this case, you have this situation where it's like, there's a shit going on, and you're going to make an analysis of it without actually watching it, without actually getting the full understanding of it. Now, like I've said before, I could see if, he made an analysis, then maybe watched it to then prevent himself from a bias on it. But that's not what I got as far as the overall understanding of what happened. And so to me, that bothers me, is how can you make, I think I actually found the quote. Give me a second. Here we go. Let me swap over to the other video real quick. So just to prove that I'm not lying, because people will say I'm lying, because one thing Ken is doing is Ken has been consistent about showing fucking receipts. So let's do that, right? So where is not Sophie's children? Is this one? 136. Is it the same fucking title? Or is it? Okay, so let's do this. So it's just a snippet. You can listen to the whole thing if you don't believe me. But just to prove that I'm not lying, if I go down here to my YCS YouTube comment search add-on, right? So I search the transcript, so transcript of video. So go to 1548, haven't seen it. So I searched the word haven't because I remember him saying something with like a contraction like that. So if I go to 1548, so I'll go back to 1540 or 1538.
CPS,
so
CPS, future vid. But anyways, going back to this example, in this case right here, with the clip, if you watch it, again, I haven't seen it, but from what I read, the child is violently screaming.
I haven't seen it, but from what I read. I haven't seen it, but from what I've read. How can you make an accurate assessment if you haven't seen it? How can you make an accurate assessment of a situation like that, of a highly volatile, upset child in a very contentious situation, but not watch it. Right? That to me is like the biggest, like, well, holy shit. Like, how do you make an accurate assessment of that? I don't know. I don't think you can. That's my personal view on that, right? Is how can you have an accurate assessment of a situation if you can't watch the whole fucking video? Maybe I'm wrong for that, and I'll own up if I'm wrong. And like, how can you just go, like, if you have the evidence available, it's right in front of you, how can you not actually watch it? To me, that's the interesting part. Like, I don't get that. Let's see. Also, is anyone having issues with listening? Is he talking too fast? Because if so, I can go back to the normal speed, or I actually have a tool now to do custom speeds, so I can do whatever I want as far as speeds. So that's pretty cool. Like, I can change it to go as fast or slow as I want to. But as long as you guys are fine with the speed. And Blair said, and why won't he watch it? I don't know. I don't remember him saying any reason why he didn't watch it, but he did say he did not watch it. To me, that is interesting, and that's important. So let me answer Andy Jordan real quick, and then we'll get back to the video because I want to clarify something. So Andy said, but that isn't what Psych Guy said. He said he didn't just take off with the kid. He didn't say just take off with the kid. He said Dad should have wanted her to go anywhere but back with her mom if he believed she was essayed in her care. And he did appear to believe that, and he was filing motions in the court, and he was trying to get shit done, I believe, after this. Because I don't remember the exact date and time of this video, the original video that went viral. But can you just legally hold your kid back who's due to go? I mean, you can call the police. The police are going to tell you, well, we can do this, this, or that. They may limit your options. They may say you have to take it up with the court. So, I mean, how far can you go? I mean, if you have this allegation, the child's afraid to go, you don't have maybe specifics yet at that point of who. I mean, in the video, Sophie did say things that were very specific to me, but to have that and to use that as your source of like, oh, well, should it probably have been handled differently? Yes. But I will say that regardless of Mike's actions, whether you support him or not, the video was a clear insight into Sophie's behavior. Whether you think that insight is, oh, this is perfect evidence that she was coached, or this is perfect evidence that she's being abused. Regardless of your view, that is raw, uncut, for the most part, behaviors of Sophie. I know the video jumps around a bit, but I think that's because of pausing and starting the recording. I don't remember. Mike explained that part. Again, I take people at their word. I take Mike at his word. It's what his arguments, I believe, are, is either had to stop or move around or stuff. But it's very easy for people. And one of the reasons I'm doing all this is I don't want people to make decisions based off of what I say. I want you guys to make decisions for yourselves. And I don't think that's a wrong thing. And I know some people do. I know some people question me on that. I know some people don't like that. But part of me doesn't care to a certain degree because it's fine for you to come up with your own answers for this. Like, I've never understood why that's a problem or why people see it as a problem, why it's wrong for you to determine, well, this kid was fucking abused or this kid was coached. Like, why is it wrong to make this assessment yourself? I don't understand that. That's always bothered me from the beginning of why can't people make an assessment? Why can't you? Because people come into my chat and they go, Ken, I think you're wrong. I think you're a fucking idiot. Cool. I think I'm an idiot some days too. Other days I think I'm right. I would bet a lot of shit on being right on this. I bet, Sophie, I would bet strongly that there has been some kind of trauma, likely of sexual orientation, of a sexual nature or orientation, that has caused her the level of distress. I don't see other things pointing to specific coaching. And if she was coached, she was done by a fucking expert. My personal opinion, before anyone misquotes me again. So Adelaide says, is it the same in the States where psychiatrists do not engage in psychotherapy beyond initial diagnostic criteria to decide medications? So what normally you'll see is, because the limited number of psychotherapists in the country, the limited number of psychiatrists in the United States, I'm sure it's the same in whatever country you're in, is there's a limit to how many people are available, right? Now, this is a different graphic that's been put together, but it's helpful in showing the number of, it gives me the number of mental health professionals, and this is from 2011. But can I put this on the screen without showing off my fucking private information? If I do it this way, I think I can. Okay. Again, these are some older numbers. There has been growth in the career field. This is on a graphic for talking. It's a whole other political-ish topic on guns and mental health, on whether there's enough therapists out there to do like mental health screenings. So let's see here. All right, so let's share. Don't need the audio for this. So real quick, I'll put this full screen. So if you look down here, this is from 2011, right? So we see that here. So 2011 data, so it's older. There was about 551,000 mental health practitioners in the U.S. practicing therapy and or clinical interventions was the best number I could find, right? Approximately broken down through those BLS statistics, only 34,000 of those are psychiatrists. Remember, that's people who went to med school and did residency in psychiatry, and they work in that field. So that's a little number. So think about 34,000 spread across 50 states. Think about concentrated areas, different metropolitan areas. That's not that many. Obviously, the number's gone up since 2011. It's 10 years later. I need to see if there's more accurate numbers, because I made this a long time ago. But what was I going to say? You'll normally see as psychiatrists, you'll see them for like half an hour to an hour and a half, your first visit. They give you like an initial diagnosis roughly of your condition, give you maybe a medication or two to start out on, depending on your situation. You see them probably after a month or 6 weeks for follow-up, see how your meds are doing, decide whether to increase or decrease doses. Then maybe after that visit, it's another month, or that it's every a second or 2 months later. And then you get on like every 3 or 6 month cycles, depending on whether your med's a controlled substance or not. Some of them, they have to prescribe monthly. Some of them, they can give you 3 or 6 months worth of refills. It's complicated. They do a little bit of psychotherapy. Now, your average practitioner will normally work with a team. So you'll have a psychiatrist. Oh, this is blocking the damn. So yeah, so psychiatrists, 34,000, not that many. Now, if you look up here, shitload more psychologists. Mental health social workers, that's people like myself. You have mental health counselors, so that's people like the person that was in chat talking earlier, they're a licensed mental health counselor. You have substance abuse counselors, and you have marriage and family therapists, which there's not as many as like the other fields, but these are your primary therapy fields. Like, these are the people doing most of your counseling and therapy, and the marriage and family therapist. Your psychiatrist, there's only enough time available for them to do the few things they need to take care of, right? They have to do all this medication and all this other management in such a short time period. So it's like, can I get it done in time? Can I get it managed in time? they may do some, like I said, with my I go to the VA, I see my psychiatrist, hey, like when I saw them after getting fired, I did a walk-in and they saw me for like 45 minutes, way longer than normal, because they knew at that point I was not in a good place and I needed therapy, and they did good therapy. Of course, normally they manage meds, they make sure you're doing okay. As it relates to the meds too, they do a little bit of therapy, but if you're doing active therapy, it's normally with someone else. So that's the whole point I was making on that. So he does seem to do or have a background where he has done a lot of psychotherapy because of something he said he's done. And I'm, again, taking him at his word. He says he has a background with psychotherapy somehow, with doing a good bit of it. So I'll take him at his word that he's done it. And, where'd it go? So if we use, that as the starting place, I'm assuming he does do therapy decent. And he says he has had experiences working with sexual abuse cases or stuff like that. Again, I'll take him at his word that he has the experience. Even so, some of the things he said and some of the things other people have said about how, like the reunification psychologist, how they said, the kid appears normal for most of the time. Like they're not distressed. They're not showing all these symptoms, like they appear happy and all this other stuff. And I'm like, dude, I've dealt with and worked with, and I've had friends and shit. I was a kid who was sexually abused. Plenty of people can be sexually abused as a kid and not have that like negative outer symptom. Even it could be horrible abuse and not be like so awful that it's constantly obvious. Like that has bugged me every time I've seen or heard that. And I think Psych Guy hints at that shit too. But, that's not always the case. And that's one of the reasons it bugs me so bad, is because I've seen way too many people, with that issue, and they can appear fine. They have no outwardly visible problems, and they live life for the most part, but it's when they have trauma triggers that shit comes back, it hits them real hard. That's where the problem is. And that's where you'll see it come back. That's why I take strong issue with that take. So, but again, let's continue, because we got 8 minutes we have to finish, and I'll probably have to end it after this because we talked a lot longer in some other sections than I planned on. So we'll watch part 3 maybe tomorrow, if I don't do an interview or something else with someone tomorrow. So we'll see what happens.
But they had 3 hours to think about it on the car ride, to talk it over and process this news, to make the necessary phone calls or call people if they were on the fence. I mean, not sure why they would be on the fence. Again, if I had a daughter who was refusing to go to a place where she is allegedly being victimized, not sure about anyone else out there, but I myself would not even entertain the possibility of dropping her off, unless if maybe I was going to stay with her, like, guess who's going to join you guys for a sleepover? Oh, and also that 3-hour car ride, going back to what I said in part 1, there would be no way for that girl, if she was truly in that acute stage where the threshold was met, where she was in an acute stage of panic and fear and terror after she's had enough, at some point or points during the car ride, she would have made at least one or several strong attempts to jump out of the car, doing anything and everything in her power to avoid the possibility of being stuck in the house of horrors of abuse where the alleged perpetrator is waiting. Oh, and also, when I was speaking about victims of sex abuse in my last video, the majority will lie dormant, will regress, will look distant, hide in the shadows, maybe act out, maybe increase in bedwetting, etc. But the way Sophie acted out in those videos seemed more like an extreme case of victimization, where it just crossed that threshold to no return, or no return to sanity, unless if she were in a safe environment. And what happens later is that it's a long road to healing. It's not like a light switch where you can just turn it on and turn it off. Once she is in a safe environment, initially, she will continue to appear broken, in her shell, dissociated. But over the weekend, I watched this softball interview where she appeared on camera. Again, not the best type of judgment for dad to appear on camera, but she was on this lame YouTube interview and she appeared fine. She didn't look guarded. She didn't look tense or apprehensive. She was smiling from ear to ear and almost loved being in the spotlight, which, by the way, victims of abuse, they would not even want to be in the spotlight, right? I mean, especially immediately, especially not knowing if maybe their perpetrators could be watching. No, like I said, it's not.
Okay, I have some problems with that. All right, so let's rewind. Okay. Listen.
Interview where she appeared on camera. Again, not
we'll pause at some of this.
For dad to appear on camera, but she was.
Maybe he's right on that. Maybe he's wrong. As far as the publicity and shit, that's its own thing. I don't really care about that. Judgment calls on that, maybe good, maybe bad. Again, you have to think about these situations just like mom. The same for dad. You have to think about mom's actions and behaviors in the context of mom at the time. Just like dad, in his mind, in the context at the time. Looking at it 2020, trying to apply the same rule set is not fair to assessing the judgment. If you look at mom's behaviors and you look at dad's behaviors, you should assess them fairly by looking at what was going on in the moment. Did they feel it was right? Did dad feel at the time it was right to go out and get publicity for his daughter because it looked like she was being abused and no one was caring in the system and the courts were basically brushing him off? I could see that making sense to a dad. Is it morally or ethically right? That's another call. But for a dad, I could see them making that decision. Again, judgment call to you on if it's moral, not mine. So
was on this lame YouTube interview, and
I also don't like that, and this bugs me, and I've seen it with other creators. I've already said, for the most part, I don't really have any issues with Psych Guy. I disagree with his takes. I think some of them are kind of dumb, but not interviewing, not sitting here insulting him necessarily, not sitting here insulting his techniques. Maybe he talks fast, maybe he speaks. I have issues with the core content, not him. I'm not sitting here saying, well, there's a lame YouTube video or this silly YouTube video. No, I've accurately described his YouTube video, a video series by a child psychiatrist who has analyzed the case. I've never said this dumb asshole, this retard. No. To my knowledge, I haven't done it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'll be happy to take the L, but I think it doesn't help when you're sitting here coming off saying, I'm looking at this from a neutral point of view. And you say, well, that lame interview, does the interview being lame pertain at all to what you're doing? Because Psych Guy has a different style than I do, right? Obviously, I'm very raw. I'm very uncut. I'm unfiltered. I don't fucking care. I boomer shit, but it's because I like to do this and have fun. I'm not here to fucking sit in a suit and look professional. The suit I'm wearing on my avatar, I'm not actually wearing in person. For those who haven't realized, the avatar is not actually Ken. Some people would say it looks like me, some don't. But it looks like possibly like a Jeopardy star who won like 74 consecutive rounds on Jeopardy, right? I don't know that guy's name, but I hear it's familiar. But it doesn't pertain to, why are we insulting whoever's street? I don't care what interview it was on. Does it matter if it was lame? Does it matter if it was dumb? How are you, if you're sitting here wearing, Mr. Suit and Tie, dressed up shirt, long sleeve shirt, whatever, to come and do this assessment? How am I, as the viewer, to interpret your behavior as being one of a neutral observer, right? Also, for those who are asking, that is not actually Barry from Archer. It looks very much like his ass. That was a commissioned avatar. So the story for my avatar goes, it was a commissioned avatar I did off of Fiverr for like $5 or $10 because I was cheap at the time and didn't have much money to go off of. I was trying to get something cheap that looked like somewhat like Ken Jennings, and it kind of sucked, and I wasn't paying that guy to do edits. Mr. Ron Hop from the Knuckleheads said, hey, send me the picture, made some edits and sent me this, and I loved it, and so I've just fucking used it since. Pixlexia has been working on a replacement avatar for me. I did show a rough draft of it, but people didn't. People had some issues with it. And so I'm supposed to have Pixlexia fix it. But I do love my Ken avatar. I don't honestly want to get rid of it. But I know I need something because I've used super resolution machine learning algorithms and shit to create a larger version of it, because it's a small picture, the original. So I have like a 2048 by 2048 and a 4096 by 4096 version of the picture that I did through super resolution machine learning programming and stuff, like in algorithms. But it's still pixelated and shit. So I do need a better copy. I do need to switch to something else. I just really, really want it to look like my current avatar. So that's my biggest pet peeve with the Switch. And I'm also getting channel art and all that stuff made too. That all happened and all was being commissioned before I got fired, before anyone asked. I paid for that before I got fired, so I'm not using any of my money from the GoFundMe for that, just to clarify. Oh, no, BLT, you should see what happened the other day. I jumped in a stream by someone who was, I think, was one of the people that was doxxed, but may or may not have actually been involved in the doxing, right? But I jumped into their stream chat because I'm not really going into many people's lives. One, because I always get caught at the wrong time, and two, I'm not going into a live where people are going to dogpile on me and not give me a chance to speak. I'm not stupid. Give me credit, I'm not stupid on certain things. I'm not confirming or denying that battle. But I was in their chat and I mentioned the idea that it's possible, based off of a live stream that Psych Guy did, based off of how he was phrasing something, he was diagnosing a specific person with malingering because of how it was phrased and how he was giving the connotations of his answer, the questions and answers and shit he was going back and forwards with. It was somewhat specific that it was literally possibly crossing ethical lines. And I was making the argument that if anyone violated ethics, it was Psych Guy. So if I'm violating ethics and to be reported, then Psych Guy should. People lost their shit. Like, people in this stream were like standing Psych Guy. Like, they were like, we support Psych Guy. We're groupies for Psych Guy. Don't talk bad about Psych Guy. We love Psych Guy. And that's fine. They can do that. But like, I mentioned the whole concept of reporting him is like a theoretical, because technically under the NASW Code of Ethics, I have an ethical obligation to report colleagues, which a person in the field would be a colleague technically. It's taken widely. It's not necessarily someone I work with. If I see someone behaving unethically, I'm supposed to report it, or supposed to address it with the right people above them or with them if I can, right? Not going to. I think it's stupid going real life like that. Now, if he was like doing something severe, maybe, but in general, I think it's stupid. And so they were like, how can you sit there and talk about going real life with Psych Guy when, you know, you're upset that people went real life with you and reported you? And it was this whole back and forth for like 30 minutes. I completely derailed their fucking stream accidentally, just because I was having a discussion with one person in chat. Oh my God, it was great. But they're very supportive of Psych Guy. They think Psych Guy is accurate and correct in all his assessments. They pretty much. Oh, I understand that, Sirenius Akari. If I pronounced that wrong, please give me a way to say that properly. I'd appreciate it. But I know it doesn't matter. I was using the hypothetical that if anyone violated ethics, if I did, then based on my behavior and the things I said, Psych Guy did too, because of how he phrased things. So I was just making an argument. I wasn't necessarily saying I was going to. And, you know, again, is it possible he did? Maybe. It's stretching a bit. The board probably would not really care too much. They might be like, it's whatever. But for psychiatrists, they have a higher standard when it comes to talking about public figures. They are not to diagnose public figures. Whereas my field, our ethical code of obligations doesn't really say shit, except protect, if the media comes to you about patient information, make sure you protect patient privacy. Or it comes to you about a public figure, your goal is to protect patient privacy, which duh. And so that's it. So I could technically diagnose public figures all day. I don't, because, I mean, I'll say they may have symptoms that appear similar to this. Like, so, but I'm not sitting here going, this person has this condition. But the way Psych Guy was doing it was kind of, to me, coming off very hinty of, hey, this guy has this, not, in general, here's what malingering looks like. And so that's why I was pointing it out, is people were tripping in this live stream over the concept that I was going to report. Like, people were hardcore coming at me, and I had to, and I'm in chat, so I'm not on voice. I'm in chat trying to clear this up. And my God, it was nuts. And it wasn't like I was mad at these people. Like, I was clearly trying to make sure it was understood properly. In general, Psych Guy seems to be intelligent. He seems to be smart. I don't know how he got here, but I feel like he's making his assessment based off of bad information. And to me, that's a problem. Is because he's possibly, not having watched the video, only reading descriptions of it from other people. That to me is worrisome, and it may have tainted his initial analysis of the entire situation. Because can he honestly go back to the start and say, I can look at this fairly and balanced. I can watch the video and not be biasing myself. I can say, I can try. I can say I'm aware of my biases, and I will do my best to address them along the way. Sin Reyes. Okay. Sin Reyes. Okay, I got it. Thank you, buddy. I'll try to do better on that. Let's see. Advo lady, wonder what Psych Guy would think of the fact that she was whacking her head off tables trying to bruise herself, and KL did seek therapy for it, according to the deposition. So that was happening in Kelly's house, apparently. Is that my understanding? I haven't had a chance to read the whole deposition. I know people have done streams on it, but I prefer to read it. As you guys see, I prefer to read shit on actual camera. Like, I put the documents on the screen, so that way I can let you know that I'm not making shit up. That was one of the things that got me fired, apparently, because showing a document, and because it had terms like medical terms in it, and it was talking about a 9-year-old's vagina, and I was talking about it and talking about ways sexual abuse can happen that doesn't leave physical evidence, because I used the words penetrate in a sentence. Literally were reasons that were given to why I was disgusting and I'm a pervert. All back to that same logic we discussed earlier about how if you're a guy, you can't talk about this case. Right? So I didn't see his live last night, but he did send me the video he's talking about. I'm going to check that out later. As soon as I get off, I have to go pick my wife up from work. It's this volunteer thing she does, pretty much. I have to go pick her up from work and then come home. And then from there, I don't know what the rest of my day looks like. Tomorrow, I still haven't figured out what the stream is. We might do more Psych Guy. If I can get an interview scheduled, I'm going to do an interview. But I do want to go through at least this 4-part series, because this is what caused a lot of people to really support some more of this ideation. So, Kelly's own words in the phone calls. So, Psych Guy would, my best estimate, and I'm giving this is my judgment of Psych Guy from his statements already, is he would probably make an argument basing the behaviors of the child off of something having to do with the alienation, right? So the child has been allegedly alienated by Michael, and Kelly is the alienated parent, while Michael is the alienator parent, is the allegations at this point. And probably something along the lines of it's behavior that, is meant to reinforce that mom's house is not safe and it's safer at dad's house and she's more comfortable there. That would be my best way to kind of squeeze that all into a simple thing, is that it would be used as a way to support the idea that the alienation is a thing. Whereas, depending on, again, you're missing context there. Is she beating her head off the table saying shit like, I don't want to live, I don't want to be near him, I don't want him to come touch me? Like, if you're, if the kid's doing something like that, or if they're just banging their head off the table, or if they're banging their head off the table saying, this is what dad said that would make me stop coming to see you. Like, everything has a different context. Or if they're banging their hands off the table going, this is a fun game. Like, everything has a different context. So was she saying anything? Was she doing anything else in the process? Did something happen immediately before? Did she do something immediately after? Like, that little snippet of time can be a real big window, because when you have behaviors that go from 0 to 100 like that, when you have acting out, when you have violence or aggression or sudden states of sadness or depression, or they're crying or they're losing their shit. And I use the term like losing their shit. When a kid's losing their shit because of something that's going on, something big has happened to that child. They are not okay in the moment. And, your job as a parent or as a caregiver is to help fix that, because obviously they're not okay. And again, I know that sounds probably a bit weird, but God damn it, what was it? So hopefully that clears it up. That would be my best interpretation that I would get from Psych Guy. He would probably make that kind of argument. And that's not to say like try to be disingenuous. I just think that would be where that argument would come from. So hopefully that helps. Let's see here. All right, so let me get this video started back again. I hope that answers your question. So okay, that'll probably be the best for this. Okay, so let's continue the video here and pressing play.
Appeared fine. She didn't look guarded. She didn't look tense or apprehensive.
Oh, that's the point I was making. God damn it. Okay, so also he made the statement, and I'll play it.
Smiling from ear to ear and
hold on, wait for it.
In the spotlight.
She may have, because she was feeling validated, right? So the child who was potentially being, again, I'm trying to use potentially accused, allegation, because I don't know. And so I'm trying to give benefits of the doubt to both sides still. I feel that's being fair. If I'm wrong for that, sorry. I don't fucking care. My goal is, what's the way to phrase this? My goal with that is, look at this situation. She's possibly being abused. She's struggling with trauma. She's telling her dad's probably telling her, we're going on the stream to talk to people who want to hear about what happened, and we're here to support you. A 9-year-old is like, oh my God, that's great. Someone actually believes me. Someone actually believes this happened to me. And they want me to get to help. They want me to be okay. Like, that's a 9-year-old's brain. Go back to other streams. We've went through child's cognitive functioning levels, right? So that's what I would expect to see from a child like Sophie. Her age, give or take, a couple of years of cognitive development.
Which, by the way, victims of abuse, they would not even want to be in the spotlight, right? Especially immediately.
That would depend on the person. It would depend on how they're taking. These are my views, right? This is my take on it. Feel free for someone to come in and correct me if I'm wrong. Is that right there isn't the sign that there's no way for the child to be happy at all outside of any other context. Like, they're going to be in this negative spotlight, this negative idea, and this negative state constantly. No human being works like that. Even someone who's suffering from major depression can still have a good day or a slightly better day, right? Like, that to me is like a logical fallacy of sorts. And this part here,
especially not knowing if maybe their perpetrators could be watching.
Do you really think a 9-year-old's going to grasp that? Do you think a 9-year-old's sitting there going, well, I hope, again, assuming Sophie was abused by mom's boyfriend, I'm going to be doing this live stream, but I'm worried that Mr. Jake or mommy might be watching. I don't think a 9-year-old cares. Again, maybe she knew. Maybe she knew they were going to be watching. Maybe she found out later. I don't think a 9-year-old's going to care at that point. Now, it is something to consider, and it may be something that holds her back. It could be something that holds her back. Or if she's got and kids are very resilient. Kids are very resilient. She's got strong levels of resilience. She's very empowered in the fact that people do care. She could say, I don't care if mommy and Mr. Jake are watching. I want people to know what really happened to me. I want people to know that I'm not lying. Like that could be her motivator that's pushing her past the level of the negative feelings. Like it's hard. She may still be struggling with it, but to push herself past that, she's making that leap. Again, these are different assumptions and different interpretations of the event. It doesn't have to always absolutely be negative. And this characterization that all sex abuse victims are coming off like this, I feel is incorrect. He may have worked with a bunch of patients like this, but I've seen opposites. I've seen other things. So it's a disagreement.
No, but again, like I said, it's not like a light switch. It's a healing process, and victims are bruised, they're battered, they're hard to get back to baseline in the initial stages, and smiles are rarely seen.
He's not wrong. They can be very difficult to work with. Or if they're suppressing the emotions and they're suppressing their feelings and their struggles with what's going on, then they're not going to be as apparent because they're hiding it. Some people don't remember they were abused until later. Now, there is the whole issue about false memories, recovered memories regarding sexual abuse. That's its own fucking argument. That's a whole another stream. Trust me, I have done papers on that stream. Not on that stream. Oh my God. I have done papers in grad school or undergrad on whether or not recalled memories or recovered memories or repressed memories are a thing. It basically boils down to it's mixed. So there's the answer to that. It can depend. There were issues with people accidentally causing people to have repressed or recovered memories and shit like that, but it's not necessarily off the table. So Sophie could be keeping it in, trying to look happy and trying to be a positive person. But I bet anytime shit like that comes up, you're going to see a change in her behavior. You're going to see her face sink a little bit. That smile is going to not be as wide, or it might turn to a frown. Instead of standing up straight, her shoulders might shrug. She might turn away. She might not make eye contact because something's reminding her of that trauma. So it's possible to be in the moment and to live in the moment and not be in the rest of this shit all the time. Again, it depends on, because if this is, say, been going on for a while and then she vocalizes it, she may have built her coping mechanisms. Or if it was so traumatic she repressed it, it's still traumatic, but it's not as traumatic as it could be once she finally remembers or recalls all of the details of it. Like, there's so much nuance that goes into shit like this. That's why this bugs the fuck out of me. Not trying to fucking sound like an asshole. And I'm sure that he's seen cases like this. It sounds like something he has seen in his practice. I'm not trying to undermine him there. I will give him, again, benefit of the doubt. But this is where I disagree on it from my perspective and experience. So let's continue.
Yeah, maybe when Dad took that picture on her birthday, sure, she could fake a smile, but when you're starting to hear and see her, and I'm glad, believe me, I'm glad she's happy. I want all children to be happy, let alone everyone on this planet to be happy. But when you start to hear her getting excited about her expensive Taylor Swift cat, these horses dressed in unicorns, she's singing karaoke, she's talking about music, like maybe Dad's trying to promote what's called normalization and return to a normal way of living. I get that, but you just can't force it.
But it doesn't sound forced. So he's right. Dad might be trying to do normalization. Hey, let's get back to life. Let's remember these good things. Kind of like what the grandma was trying to do, but grandma was doing it. And well, people hate grandma from that video. Don't get me wrong. There was some anger there. Just because that happened doesn't mean that she can't start that process that she hasn't already been working on it. We don't know what's been going on behind the scenes, right? We get snippets of information regarding this family. I tell every client of mine, I get to see you for 1 hour. The other 167, if I'm lucky, maybe 2 hours a week. The other 167 hours are yours. I'm not there. I can't always be there. Now you can reach out. You can call me and text me if shit goes bad or if things go bad, or if you have mom or dad's permission, if you're allowed to text me if they're a kid. Because if a kid needs to text me if they're going through shit and mom and dad are fine with that and they're comfortable with that, I'm fine. and if I need to call or whatever, if it's something big, I'm like, hey, I'll call you. Can I just, touch base with mom and dad? Just let them know, hey, I called you because you're dealing with something. I just want to keep them in the loop so they don't, just so everyone's on board. And I've never had problems with that. I've always had that go well. No one's ever, obviously texting works well for kids and teenagers and shit. Everyone fucking texts. There's a record of it too, so it's all there. It's easy to read. In case anyone ever fucking questions it, But I have had good client relationships like that. I've had parents very invested in that. It wasn't always a frequent thing, but I did have that as a way to help. So. Ken, have you heard of the game Little Misfortune? There's YouTube videos on it, and the main character is abused and it shows some of her coping mechanisms. It's an interesting watch. Huh. Little Misfortune. On Steam. Huh. We may do a stream or two on this game if it's not too difficult. Mr. Voice. How much, are we talking what kind of trauma or things are we dealing with here? Is abuse? Does it say what kind of abuse it is, or is it just very much original soundtrack, official art book? I'm just looking at the Steam thing real quick. It looks like a really cool game. Huh. Yeah, it looks like a neat little game here on Steam. I will have to check it out and maybe pick it up, and because anything to there's also a game that people want me to play or to do on stream. It's basically doing counseling with Hitler. It's called Heal Hitler. Right? It's an actual game on Steam. I'm not even joking. I want to do it, and because I think it would be here, just to prove to you I'm not lying, because it's just a fucking hilarious concept, but two, it's also an interesting concept. Where'd it go? Where the hell is it? Am I in the same window? Heal Hitler. Here we go. Okay. So yes, here we go. This is the game. It's literally called Heal Hitler. You were Hitler's psychologist in 1925. Diagnosed his complexes using both Jungian and Freudian psychotherapy. Attempt to heal him, resolve Hitler's trauma, and prevent catastrophe via therapy and psychology. Succeed and avoid the war and Holocaust. I know it's still kind of in its infancy, and I know they've been releasing updates. That's why I haven't bought it yet. But I definitely want to do it. This would be one. It gives you an insight into old counseling methods, a lot of theories from Jung and Freud, which are interesting, and it gives you this chance to try and see, could Hitler have technically benefited, quote unquote, from psychotherapy? Right? So that's a fun concept in my mind. Could Hitler have been saved? Could Hitler have been not gone whole eradicate the Jews and all that shit? Could we not have had that? No. So this is for the other game. Physical violence by their father's abuse and mother's alcoholic. Okay, perfect. That's that's another way to teach a lot of coping mechanisms too. Let's see. Andy Jordan said, what did Andy say? Andy said, it's odd to let your child speak to strangers on the internet about their sexual abuse. Sorry if you disagree. It's just my opinion. So I could see that opinion, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Andy. And this is something where I would love to have a dialogue with another person on this topic, what their issues are with the case and why they have the stance there. So Andy here, for better or for worse, has, and I'm not saying your opinions are bad. You bring up a valid opinion. It's a very valid opinion. It's a very good opinion about why would you let your child talk to strangers on the internet about their sexual abuse, right? Again, I don't know if I remember these videos, or these streams, or if anyone has access to them, please email them to me, because I want more information. I love data. I love info. It helps me do better at what I'm doing. It helps me be a better therapist. It helps me be a better YouTuber. It helps me be a better person, right? I could see an argument that it's bad, and I can see an argument that it's good. The argument that's bad is you're letting this child talk to strangers. You don't know the intention of these strangers. You don't know what they could do. They could be out there, pedophilic fodder, as Psych Guy would say, that they're out there trying to get access to your daughter, and they're using it for sick, twisted means. Yes, that's an argument. Your other argument is also, well, there are people who are showing support and love and care for a child that may have been sexually abused. The child is getting benefits out of this. It's helping them heal. It's helping them process it. It's helping them to see there are other adults. There are other kids. There are other teenagers. There are groups of people. There's massive people out there who believe what I'm saying. Because if you've ever dealt with abuse, and you were one of those unfortunate people, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, if you were one of those people who were abused physically, sexually, emotionally, whatever it was, all of them, other things, neglect, and you told someone and they said, that's not happening to you, that's not real, you're lying. Your dad or your mom would never do that. Your aunt or uncle would never do that. If you were one of those people, you know that feeling, and that's a hard fucking feeling. If you're a kid and you get told that, think about how much it destroyed you. And if you haven't had that happen to you, think about how painful that would be. If someone's hurting you, they're punching you, they're slapping you, they're beating you up, they're leaving bruises, they're burning your skin, they're touching you in inappropriate ways. They're either forcing themselves on you, or they're convincing you that it's a fun game to play, but it doesn't feel right, but you still end up doing it, and you feel bad and wrong, and you just want help, and you try to go to someone about it, and they tell you, no, there's no way that could be happening, right? Think about the weight that takes on someone. But then think about the ways that weight would be lifted is if you go to another person or you talk to someone else, regardless of them being in Timbuktu or next door, and you say, this is happening to me and it sucks and it hurts and I just want help and I want someone to believe me. And they actually listen and they go, I'm so sorry. I can't believe that's happening to you. I want to help. What can I do to help? Let me give you a hug. Let me just help. Let me just, I want to, I just want you to feel better. Those words in themselves can be stupid levels of healing and could do stupid levels of improvement to people. Just those words. If they've been told they've been lying and no one should believe them and all of that, that can fix shit overnight. Right? Very quickly. Not all the way, but it can give you a hell of a lift and a hell of a boost to let you know that someone is at least taking your word on it. And look at the situation here. All these people against Michael saying, your daughter's, you're coaching her, or it's the parental alienation. So as a child, it's like, no one really believes me or my dad. But these other people do. They support me. They actually believe what I'm saying is real. And that can be powerful for them. So I hope that, Andy, I hope that gives you an idea as to both sides of it, right? Is it can be negative, it can be positive, just like anything can. It's the context and interpretation. And we both could see the same situation and watch the same situation happen. And both have different views about it, right? And that's what I think is important, is you need to recognize, not you, Andy, but in general, people need to recognize you will walk out of shit with different views. So here's what we have to do. One, Andy, or if anyone else wants to, there are, where'd it go? If you want to send me any information, or if you want to talk, or if you want to be a guest on the show to talk about stuff like this, whether your own personal stuff, whether your own stuff, your own personal stuff you've gone through, if you want to share it with the world, you have a platform here. I'm happy to talk about whatever shit you've dealt with mental health wise or related. It doesn't have to be sexual abuse, anything. This is a great place for you to come and do that. If you have info about this case or shit related to it, send it to me. If you want to talk in general, or if you have questions that maybe I can't answer during the stream, send it to me. You can also follow me on my locals page. at kenscounselingcouch.locals.com, or you can go to supportken.com/locals and go straight to my locals page. Also, I do have, you can tip me here and get like super chats. You go to supportken.com/tip and it'll send me like a quote unquote super chat. I will be eligible for monetization very, very fucking soon. I am like on my last legs of like, there's only a few things left I need to do to get monetized. It's a few more watch hours, I think. So it's pretty cool. I'm actually really excited for that. Because once I'm monetized, then this could be a possible income stream for me, because super chats are easier to get people to donate versus trying to do it through like stream elements. And I'm not trying to grift right now. I am running out of time, but I would love to do this more often. I would just need to have the ability to financially support myself. As long as I can make up income here and through my locals and shit, I'm happy. If you want to support me, $5, $10, $20 a month on my locals, and if I have enough people do that, I can make up my income I lost. I can do this shit daily. I'd love to do it daily. So, but let's do this. Let's finish this video. Let's blow out this video, and then I got to end the stream, and we can pick up tomorrow with any thoughts we have on this video, because I literally have to walk out the door at 3 o'clock. So here we go. Let's watch the rest of it, and then I'll try to remember any comments or questions. And thank you everybody for showing up. So let's finish this up, and I really got to end it. So, but let me make sure. Okay, there is screen audio. All right, so let's do this. Thank you.
Even if you try, it would be unsuccessful in someone who has been a victim of sex, abuse, at least from what I've seen in my clinical experience. It takes weeks, if not months, if not years, for any sort of healing to occur. And seeing her and her dad's reaction in that interview, it just rubbed me the wrong way that possibly, maybe she was coached instead of sex, abuse, maybe he told her to look happy and smile to show to everyone, that she is happy in his home environment. Or maybe simply she just likes it better in dad's home environment. No offense, but out of the two parents, he looks to have more of an unstable, unset, liberal and free type home environment to where there's less structure and maybe less rigid rules and expectations. So maybe she likes that better. Who knows? Oh, and by the way, before I forget, a lot of folks commented about her screams and said that a child that looks like she has been sex, abuse, that's what it looks like. Her screams, that's just connected, that's directly a direct correlation. There's just no way around that. Well, guess what? The loudness of those screams, those are screams I've also heard from kids who don't get their way. Those are screams of kids who have been coached. Heck, those are screams of fan kids who are at a boy band concert. So there's no set definition that a type of scream fits a type of suspected child, whether it's a coach child, whether it's an abused child, etc. Oh, and also before I forget, children are wonderful actors. To anyone saying, no way can she act that way that she was doing in that video.
I strongly disagree with this.
No rational person is saying she was purposely acting as if she were on Zoe 101. It's either sex, abuse, or coached. It's one or the other. But to anyone bringing up that point of acting, just in case, children are the best actors, you better believe it.
Wait, what the fuck is this? Oh, is this like something? Okay, that's the end of it. So he said at the end,
just in case, children are the best actors, you better believe it.
I agree and disagree with this statement. Children can act. But for someone who hasn't watched the video, how do you know if that child's acting? That's what I'll end it with, right? Kids are terrible. It's a garbage taken away, right? So I'll say this. Kids can fake it to a certain degree. So what I would say is they can fake it, but then you can determine whether or not they're lying by taking advantage of, if you have the understanding and ability to know the cognitive differences of their ages. So again, if you know a 9-year-old or an 8-year-old still thinking a lot of concretely in ways, then you can undermine their lies by asking questions or seeing if their behavior is following things that you would expect or things that you wouldn't expect. Are they doing things that would be consistent with someone older their age? Or, like something that this is shit that a kid would say or do or act if they were way older versus their current age. Or maybe because of the trauma, they're regressing, so they're acting younger, which can happen is they'll regress a little bit in behavior and they'll lose the ability to speak as clearly and be as understood. The way trauma is dealt with is very difficult. But a lot of parents are really good at picking out when kids lie, and they can know when they're faking it. For example, I don't know how. It's a stupid thing I used to do when I was a kid. I'd always lie on the couch and pretend to be asleep when my mom got home from work. And she would always know I was awake, no matter what I did. But she also at that point had used to be a paramedic, and she was very smart and she had other skill sets, and so at that time she was a chef or in HR at that point, I don't remember. But she knew I was faking it. She knew I was not sleeping. Even though if I would put on my best sleep impression every goddamn time, I could never fool her. I mean, sometimes I did fall asleep on the couch, but obviously I was asleep. But she could never fucking fall because I always do it for fun. We joke around. And she'd never believed it. So, I mean, maybe I was a good actor, maybe I wasn't. Kids can act, kids suck at it. It's all about how you do it. So, but that's all I have for today. Listen, we're not going there today. After the sad news about what OnlyFans is doing, I can't talk about that right now. Real quick, for those of you who haven't known, OnlyFans is changing. So this is completely off topic, and it's only relating to my joke content as far as my OnlyFans, which is onlyfans.com/Ken's Casting Couch. For those of you who do not know, that we have some sad news to share. So let me do this real quick, and then I really do have to get going. So this is the sad news. Everybody press F. OnlyFans to ban sexually explicit content. RIP. They will allow. That's new information to me. I know that they said they were going to ban sexual acts on camera. They were going to still allow nudity in certain situations, but maybe they're in July, the company's first monthly transparent report deactivated 15 accounts after finding indecent images of children on those accounts. Wow, so that's interesting. I'll have to look into that. Apparently, under 18s have used fake ID to get into OnlyFans. Guess what? That's probably going to cause the UK to have that whole porn ID law pass. So whether or not Ken's Casting Couch OnlyFans will continue, it probably will, because my content will probably fall within guidelines, because I'm only going to be posting BBC big black couches. So that's the only thing I'm going to post on my OnlyFans once I finally get verified. But I do have to go now. Yeah, if you have OnlyFans stock right now, it'll probably be a really good time to let go of it. Let's see. But if anyone has anything else, if I missed something, let me know. Send me an email. We'll do that. So I will finish you guys out with a 24 countdown. Or no, wait. We'll do the Ken's Casting Couch as the outro for today. So this is our outro. It's not an intro. I'm doing this, and then I've got to... Thanks, everybody, for showing up. It was a good day.
bad guess, but it's bananas.
Peace, everyone. Have a good